Strings up, she's in the zone, breaking it down from her comfy throne. Smart as hell with a side of flair, politics sass and a killer stare. Daisy's lurking tail in the frame, chat's already playing their games. That target day, sharp and bold, hot takes drop while the chaos unfolds. Truth with bite, both in the way, still showing up every streaming day. Brains and vibes, she leads the pack, now buckle in, no looking back. That dark night, let's go!
Did you like that? Did you like that? That's a courtesy of Creamage. I really enjoyed it. I didn't make it myself, but I enjoyed it. I was gonna make my own intro song, but you know what? This one makes me seem really cool. So I'm really happy with that one. Like, yes, Creamage, yes. So it makes me seem very cool. And you know what? Let's just lie to the people. I would go with something a lot more goofy, but that is it's still great. I love that it mentions Daisy's tails in the frame, although Daisy has not joined us yet today. The cats are pre-fed, so we don't have to stop to go and feed them today. So yes, thank you so much, Creamage, for the intro song. I really appreciate it. Now we have a way to start our streams other than, I think I might still put the cat butthole at the end of the video though. Might still do that. Yeah. But the song, freaking banger. Yeah. We'll I guess I need to figure out I'll make an outro one as well with the same song. Why not? So there's that. Anyway, thank you so much, Creamage. I suppose you're going to, on all of my streams, you're going to be notified. You're going to be tagged because yeah, it's your creation that's being used. Anyway, we are on what is supposed to be the final session of this debate diagram. And you know what? We're just going to get into it. I think that we're done. I told you the cats are pre-fed. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, I need to just let you know my husband was sick, so I was focused on him. So that the pre-diagramming did not happen. But we have the end is in sight. Today is the end of it, and then next week we actually get to. I'll have to report back to you with a bit of a summary. Okay, no live stream, but summary. We move on. Next week we go on to a new debate. So vote for. Suggest what you wanna go explore next. Oh yes. One other thing is the thing that we explore next probably won't be this in depth, as in transcript in depth. Maybe we will be going ideas depth, because wow, this one has been tough. Or we'll just find a shorter conversation. But anyway, let's stop talking and start diagramming, right? Okay. Just get my legs out. All right. Nobody does Gordon have man flu? No, he does not. He has real flu. It's real flu. But he will be fine. He's been recovering. Yeah, he's back on the horse today, it seems. So Daisy, Daisy's over here. Come, Daisy. Okay, no. Okay. Let's see. Let's get our not full screen layout. You come here. Do. Now it's in my head. Okay, let me see how audio is going, guys. I'm going to try and put our background music. Daisy and Axel, stop it. Hey, Axel, are you upset that you weren't in? Axel's upset because he wasn't involved in the song. So he's after his sister now. Okay, let's see if I can put on the background music without killing my audio. Will you let me know if it goes bad? I think it's this one. Okay. Is the audio messed up? Please tell me. Please be someone in chat to tell me if the audio is messed up. I mean, I'll check if nobody's there. I'll check myself. But I'll try take my chances with you guys. Creamage, hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me with the music on? It's fine. Yay. Okay. Sweet. Let's see how this goes. Will you be able to hear the video?
So busy.
I think this
So
is
busy. You can hear so busy, right? Should be able to hear so busy from our lovely posh man. Maybe a little loud, depends on what you... Okay, so, yeah, it seems like it is a bit loud, hey? That's where it should be. I think. Yeah, I'm putting it like there. I kind of only want people to hear the snare drum thingy. We don't need to hear the whole fucking thing. But then also it's just complicated with my virtual audio cable to see if it plays this.
This is all about framing here, because I don't think I've ever once made this claim. You've made this point several times so far, but I've never once made the...
Technically, that should be lower than that. Technically, as in what I'm looking at my program here, you guys shouldn't hardly hear that. But can you? Troubleshooting. Otherwise, I'll just turn off my virtual cable and go back to old school. She just wanted background music, man. So you don't have to listen to my aircon or, I don't know, my breathing just when I type. Okay. Maybe a little loud. So I'm hoping that's changed now. Alright, because now there will be echo if I go and look at it on my computer as well. Now. Alright, I'll have to do a test run. Okay, let's get diagramming anyway. Let's do this.
Claim that everything...
You must be parched after doing all these damn streams. Parched? Yeah, I've got... You know what? Drink your water, Kitty-chan. You know what? The other day I was actually... My throat was sore from talking. It was the one where I went 5 hours. I was like, I need some ginger and honey. And Carl, once this is over, maybe I could game this weekend. So I should just shut the fuck up and go, right? Let's go.
Thing is always us. I think you're the one who's...
Okay, so can you hear him? Can you hear the video?
It's all about framing here, because I don't...
Pace your yapping.
Humans in the world.
Okay.
Us. It's other people who have...
So we have almost 20 minutes left to do. Let's go. Okay, so we are here. We're talking about Syria, blah blah.
actions in the world.
Again,
the Russians, the
okay,
revolutionary government in Iran, they are so busy.
I
turn it down very slightly, but I'm being pedantic in that way. That's cool. Be pedantic for me. Turn the video down slightly. Okay, so the video. I'm putting it down slightly. Video. Here's the video again for you, Creamage. Oh, when it comes to music. Okay. It's on 10 now. The music. Do a top on Wilds this weekend. We waiting for you. I know it's just. I'm worth the wait. I promise. Not really. It's worth the wait for me. But all good now. Okay, cool.
I think this is all about.
Okay, this is all about framing. This is where we're at. Okay, I've got my transcript up here on the left. Daisy, you spill my tea, bro, and there's gonna be problems. So just please, I'm actually gonna make some space for her right now, so she doesn't spill it. Okay, I think we're good. Like you can step here. She's actually looking over here. Like, how the fuck can I fuck this up? Okay. See, this is all.
Frame.
Don't distract you no more. Have a good stream. You're a professional debate streamer. Yapper woman. Yes, absolutely. Totally professional. Hey, Shippy. Hating Gazy is gay. Yes. Hating Gazy. Hating Daisy is gay. I can't even say hating Daisy. Oh, here's a bit of advice for people in the chat. I'm trying to stay focused, so if you would like to distract me, it will have to take money today. So this chat that we've just had was just for fun, okay? There you go. Okay, now I'm gonna stop looking at chat. Okay, we have to finish, boys.
Here because I don't think I've ever once made this claim. You've made this point several times so far, but
Let's put you louder. All about framing here. Because I don't think I've ever once made this claim. You've made this point several times so far, but I've never once made this claim. Okay? There's no... it's not the amount. I think my alerts should be on. So it will go pee-pee-pee, or it'll meow at me or whatever. If, yeah, I'll put the YouTube alerts a little bit higher for myself. Yeah. So there we go. They should meow at me. Let's see. I don't know. See. Maybe I need to bring out my stream elements. Just hold on. Then I'll be able to hear you guys. Daisy! Okay, let's go. Hey, Sparkles! I've seen you've been busy with your propaganda videos. No, your very sexy videos involving people from the crew. Okay.
I've never once made the claim that everything is always us. I think you're the one who's down.
And never once were we. Oh God, I've lost track of in the transcript. What the hell? Okay, I have to now do a Control F in the transcript. I don't think ever. Results made this claim. There we go. Cool, we're good. I found it. No, fuck's sake. Okay, this is where we're at. But I've never once made the claim that everything is always us. I think you're the one who's downplaying the influence and impact that we have. I don't need you guys hissing at each other. I've just started. Okay, we are still on a Dave reply that we have. Okay. We are, after all, okay. This is his extra point. After all, the United States. Jesus! Okay, hold on. A cat just yeeted herself onto my desk, and Axel, I have to yeet Axel into another room because there's a war going on. That was very insensitive to say. But yeah, I have to go and wrangle some cats. So enjoy the song again.
Strings up, she's in the zone, breaking it down from her comfy throne. Smart as hell with a side of flair, politics sass and a killer stare. Daisy's lurking tail and Axel showing up every streaming day. Brains and vibes, she leads the pack. Now buckle in, no looking back. That dark night, let's go!
Okay, it didn't work. I tried to extract Axel from a scratch post, and Daisy attacked the mark, says Big Ship. Thank you very much. I wouldn't take that if I were you. Did you hear Axie? Because okay, he's now on the up there. I think you might be able to see him. There he is. Okay, and Daisy is to my left. So I'm hoping that we're over each other. Weirdly accurate. What, the song? Yeah, it's a solid tune. Thanks, Creamage. Okay, I think we're back. Back. I think we can start again. Okay. It was horrible. I was trying to get Axel off the scratch post, and he's like, wow, because he's stuck. His claw was stuck, so I'm trying to take him so I could put him in timeout, basically. Which is basically, I put him in Gordon's room, and that's the end of it. Okay, we are, after all, when I'm saying we, I'm saying the United States. Is the largest, most powerful organization in the history of the world. Okay.
Downplaying the influence. I've never once made the claim that everything is always us. I think you're the one who's downplaying the influence and impact that we have. We are, after all, when I'm saying we, I'm saying the United States of America's federal government is the largest, most powerful organization in the history of the world. It is the world empire. And to sit there and say Iran colonized Iraq, no, George W. Bush invaded the country on a bunch of lies, a war that you supported. He went in there and overthrew Saddam Hussein and installed democracy in the Shiite majority country. Of course, he handed the thing over to Iran, but to say that that had no impact on Syria, or that the U.S. military funding and arming the anti-Assad rebels had no impact, I'm not claiming the entire thing is America. Bashar al-Assad was an actor. There were other forces there aside from the U.S. meddling there. But at the same time, you got the most powerful government in the history of the world, who, as we all know, put Syria on its 7 countries in 5 years list of who we're going to go overthrow. And it's had a profound impact on the region.
Guys! I've lost it. I've realized we lost about 10-15 minutes of diagramming here, because we have diagrammed this. We diagrammed this last time. Remember, I was having glitches and shit. No. Okay. I'm flabbergasted, so I'm going to say save as, and I'm going to say current device. I'll even do that. Dave Smith, Joe Rogan experience. It's a save over. Yes, replace it. Cool. So I'm saving it locally, and let's see if it just, and then I'll reshare it, I suppose. Because this is way back. We have diagrammed this. Fuck this, man. I'm so angry. Okay. This is not going to get us through it any quicker. Oh, now it's fucking losing its shit again. I've saved it. I have to stop Xmount. Just hold on. It's like the world is conspiring to 10 minutes of autism is roughly 4 hours stream. Yeah, well, that is. I've opened it. This is where we're at. Okay, we've gone, and this is where we're at now. Can I select this. First of all, the scrolling that you do, it just doesn't help. That however your scrolling is worked out, Xmind. 0 out of 10. Okay. We are, after all, jeez, okay. Let's fucking do this. It's fine. Let's do this. I'm angry, man. Don't mess with me, man. Sit there and say Iran colonized Iraq. Iraq. No. Oh, you know what? No, don't even split that up. Fuck this. Get it done. No. George W. Bush invaded the country in a bunch of lies. A war that you supported, by the way. You supported. He went in there and overthrew Saddam Hussein and installed democracy in the Shiite majority country. Of course, he handled the thing. Of course, he handed the thing over to Iran. But but to say that had no impact on Syria or the U.S. military funding. Okay, then he goes and rephrases himself. And arming the anti-Assad rebels had no impact. Dot. I'm not claiming the entire thing is America. Okay. Not claiming the entire thing is America. That's one. Bashar al-Assad was an actor there. Other forces their side aside from the US meddling there. But at the same time, you got the most powerful government in the history of the world, who, as we all know, put Syria on its 7. Okay, so 7 countries so it was 7 countries. I guess that's what I get for not being clear. I thought he said 5 countries in 5 years. It's 7 countries in 5 years. List of who we're going to go overthrow. And this had profound impact on the region. Of course, it did. Okay.
Of course it did. It was a huge contributing factor to that.
Okay. The region, it was a huge contributing factor. Now we're going to quibble about the 7. Oh god, there's so much that we missed. Fuck, I hate this. Let's see if I can try and go through, if I can remember who, please don't send troll chats. I could understand if we were on the last bit, but I've lost about 10 minutes of work here. 10 minutes of work, as in 10 minutes of their conversation, which is 4 hours of work. Okay. I want to cry. Okay, it was a huge contributing factor to the Civil War to begin with. I think America. Okay, so let's just see if I can do this quicker, because I know who said stuff. Wait. Of course it did. I think this is actually all the same point. So I guess we could stick here. Copy style. Huge contributing factor to begin with. I think America is obviously a major factor. It certainly could be as meant to them. Okay, I don't know.
Civil War to begin with.
I think America.
No, that's our lovely guy over there. That's Douglas. So Douglas responds, yeah. Major factor. It certainly could be.
is obviously a major actor, certainly could be, is meant to be the major actor on the world stage. I think that the history of the region and many other regions around the world is that America does not have either the staying power, the capability, the intelligence, the kind of people that you would produce in order to have the kind of impact that you actually think it has. American weakness in the Middle East has been, I mean, I say this as somebody obviously from Britain, but when Britain was a dominant world power, she produced the type of person who was keen to go and be a governor of,
Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Okay. Because I started finishing up around him talking about being part of Britain. But no, anyway. Fine, it's shit, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, go. I'm trying to also just keep my comments to a minimum anyway. I think its history of the region, many other regions around the world, is that America does not have either the staying power, the capability, the intelligence, the kind of people that you would produce in order to have the kind of impact that you actually think it has. Okay, so this is against what he's saying. This isn't him rebutting. It's like he's arguing that America doesn't have the impact he thinks it has. Dave. Oh, for fuck's sake! Can't even fucking type. Douglas Murray forgot. How could you forget how arrogant he was? It's like the only thing that we remember from this debate. And we hardly remember the good points he made because he was so smug about it. Okay. I think it has.
A stan somewhere and learn the local, keen to go and be a governor of the type of person who was, I mean, I say this as a...
America. American weakness in the East. I say this as somebody from Britain. So he sees American weakness in the Middle East has been... Say this as somebody obviously from Britain. Thanks for letting us know. But when Britain was a dominant world power, she produced the type of person who was keen to go and be a governor of a stan somewhere and learn the local dialects. Okay, so just a nice way of just inserting how Britain is better than America, I suppose. Oh, whoopsie, not that. Oh, not so subtle. Jab at America. Okay. That sort of person because they wanted to stay. Okay, now he's making a comparison. The UK. America has never produced that sort of person. It certainly hasn't. Okay.
Somebody obviously from Britain, but when Britain was a dominant world power, she produced the type of person who was keen to go and be a governor of, a stan somewhere and learn the local dialects and, run the civil service.
You guys were better at Empire than we are.
The point is that
you guys were better. See this? Remember this. You guys were better at Empire than us. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we have that. See, I remember distinctly getting to that point. Okay.
It produced that sort of person because they wanted to stay. America has never produced that sort of person, and it certainly hasn't in the Middle East in particular. It acts
in particular. So you haven't produced colonizers, it seems. It acts militarily
on occasions, and in my view, sometimes well, sometimes poorly. But the reason why America was so badly outplayed by the mullahs in Iraq was simply that, as you say, after the war, America had nothing like the staying power of the mullahs in Tehran, had nothing like the ability to effect post-war change like the Iranian Revolutionary Government.
Yawn. Listen, Theo. I need to finish this whether it's boring or not. Okay. So leave a like, and that's it. Okay. I'm not in the mood. I got upset because my program deleted or didn't track the last bit of my work from my last session. So your yawn is not appreciated, sir. Okay. Just now you're going to start coming in here and talking about charmeleons and things. I'll get even more angry at you. It's a personal joke. Okay. I'm sorry, my dear. Yes, you better be. Go speak to your friend, see what he's doing this weekend. Okay. Where are we at? Tehran. Ability effect post-war change. Nothing like the ability like the Iranian Revolutionary Government did. Okay, and so yes, if we create a vacuum like that.
Government did. And so yes, if we create a vacuum like that, or somebody else creates a vacuum, and after all, we did not cause the beginning of this, the West, I'm saying on this occasion, did not cause the beginning of the Arab Spring, as it was optimistically called at the beginning, or the beginning of the revolutionary uprising in Syria in 2011. These things.
2011. Okay, these things. What's next? These things. Look at you. Look at you. You're still going. You're still going. These things were ground up, and the actors in the region moved in much more deftly and effectively than we did. It's the same with Lebanon. Okay. So I feel like he is properly arguing against the might of America or the influence of America. But I think this might be just to disagree with Dave. These things were ground up and the actors in the region moved in. Like, I'm not saying this is not true, but I think they're all true at the same time. More deftly and effectively than we did. Okay. Let's remake our point with something else. It's the same with Lebanon. Okay. For fuck's sake, Chinsia, you're not helping with your clumsiness, eh? Jesus. It's the same with Lebanon. It's the same with Lebanon. Thank you for the repeat. Okay. America doesn't even have eyes over Lebanon. Iran has. Okay. Iran has an army that has a checkpoint at Beirut airport that will check you on behalf of Hezbollah when you come in. There, you can't tell me that America. Okay. You can't tell me that America is just because America is on paper. On paper? More has the power. On paper and much more has the power. So it's basically like America is not a deft operator. Okay, just with so many words. So many. Deft. Not a def. Maybe it is a def operator if it's not as deft as he's telling us. America is the deft operator in the Middle East. They're awful. I hate you, Chinsia. Okay. There. are so many people who outwit America in the Middle East all the time. Okay. Okay, so this I think will be this over here will probably be Dave.
Were ground up, and the actors in the region moved in much more deftly and effectively than we did. It's the same with Lebanon. It's the same with Lebanon.
I don't...
America doesn't even have eyes over Lebanon. Iran has an army that has a checkpoint at Beirut airport that will check you on behalf of Hezbollah when you come in there. You can't tell me that America is, just because America's on paper and much more has the power, that America is the deft operator in the Middle East. There are so many people who outwit America in the Middle East all the time.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that there hasn't been an impact from the $8 trillion that we've spent there and the
Okay, this is what you're saying. The $8 trillion that we've spent there and the multiple what? I think we're going to get into the... You can't tell me that there hasn't been an impact from the 8 trillion. It is on. The music is here. I'll put it a bit louder for you. It is playing. I can hear it. Yeah, but you can't tell me that there hasn't been an impact from the 8 trillion that we've spent there. And the multiple regime changes all around the Middle East that were done by America. Just done by them. These weren't just going to happen on their own. Are you saying it didn't have an impact? Okay. You ignoring Douglas Murray and whatever his point was? No, I'm not ignoring him. I'm literally actually just getting through the diagram, what he's saying. All of these bits, it's just him going against what Dave has said. I'm not here to go and fact check each of them, right? I'm talking about what he does in relation to the other. Yeah, I don't agree with it, but he said it. This is all he's saying. Look at all of these points. So this over here is, you can't tell me there hasn't been an impact, whatever. So he's trying to argue that there is an impact. Can we agree on this impact being a thing? And he's just saying this whole speech over here is to remind Dave that America isn't the be all and end all in the region. He used Syria as an example for where they did their own thing, but what Dave is saying is no, America is heavily involved. So that right now they're arguing about the influence of America. One is saying it's not that huge. The factors on the ground, the people on the ground in the Middle East are more of an influence, and the other is saying no, America is still an influence. Or he's strawmanning. He's saying, that's why he has to ask, are you saying they didn't have an impact? Didn't it have an impact? That's his main question now. Hey, Sherry. Okay, so
multiple regime changes all around the Middle East that were done by America. These weren't just going to happen on their own. Are you saying that didn't have an impact?
Iraq was certainly done by it.
Okay, so he goes, Iraq was certainly done by America, so he agrees. Iraq was certainly done by America, of course. Okay, so in agreement. So he did say, we have done this. We have had a say in this, and then
America, of course.
Okay, so Iraq was certainly done by America. Libya?
Okay, so we've got that. Iraq. So now we're going to get into the 7 nations in 5 years thing. So Iraq was certainly done by Libya, NATO. Yeah, by Libya. Was certainly done by America. Then he asks Libya. Okay, this is now, remember where this goes? This goes into conspiracy theory and then Douglas laughing at him. We still have that part to get through again. Okay, certainly was done by America. Then he asks Libya. And he goes NATO. And then we have to quibble about this NATO answer.
NATO.
Right, but okay, but NATO.
So he's just hey, it's NATO. That's his answer. And then he's like, okay, well, NATO is basically the US. Is essentially his argument. But NATO is the European wing of the American empire. I mean, let's get real. That's the American decision.
Is the European wing of the American empire. I mean, let's get real. That's an American decision.
Sure.
Right, I'm saying it's
So he goes, sure, very quietly. But NATO is the European wing of the it's an American decision. Sure, whispers. Okay. So they're the same thing. Who speaks next?
it's not because some random
By the way,
European
let's just
country
also go
decided.
back-
I remember that. Sure, it's not because some random European country decided. The European country decided. Okay, so now he goes back. And now he a lot of the time he controls his conversation. He decides where it's going, and that's why people have more judgment for him, because they're like, you could have done this so much better. You had all the power, actually.
Back just because I mean the Libyan intervention I was pretty iffy about at the time.
To go back. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I do this. To go back just because, I mean, the Libyan intervention was I was pretty iffy about it at the time. Okay, so what are we going back to?
But that was done not to create an empire or anything like that. It was done for one very clear reason, and I remember the debates in the European capitals and in Washington, D.C. at the time. There was a belief that after the uprising against Gaddafi began, that there would be a mass slaughter, genocide carried out by Gaddafi against the people.
So we're talking in
city.
2011?
And it was 2000.
Okay, that done create an empire. Anything like this was done for. I really hope I haven't messed this up and repeated myself. Let me just check. Okay, so we are at 236. They're being killed in the brutal war we started by Hamas. There is no desire and aim by the IAF. Okay, there is no desire for that. You've made this point a lot of times, but okay. These points over here. Weeks ago, rise up against Hamas and was identified by the people. Wow. Okay. I'm just flabbergasted at how much I lost. I just keep thinking, oh no, this must be a mistake. You say Israelis come, so we went after that. Just speak some rebels. Region is the fact the prime mover in region of the red is the guy here. I'm losing it because they repeat themselves. So I'm like, how many times have we repeated ourselves? We are bit players, yes, but okay. Just accept it, bite the bullet. To go back, because I mean the Libyan intervention was very. I was pretty iffy about that at the time, but I remember. Worst case load last stream, yeah. And we're talking time there was a belief that after the uprising against Gaddafi began, there would be okay. That was not. I remember the done by America, the intervention. I was pretty iffy about it at the time, but that was done not to create an empire. Okay. Cool, we're here. Anything that was done to create an empire or anything like that. Okay, what is it done for? It was done for one very clear reason, and I remember the debates. Okay, one very clear reason, but we have to listen to I remember the debates. But in the European capitals and in Washington, D.C. at the time. Oh my God. There was a belief that after the uprising against Gaddafi began, that there would be a mass slaughter, genocide carried out by Gaddafi against the people in, and then we go, oh my God, we're so far behind, in 2011 against the people. So he goes in 2011. We're talking 2011. It was 2011. So we're talking 2011 where it's you kind of think he's following? Yes. There was a belief that everybody. Hi Sokav. I'm kind of miserable right now because I was so close to finishing this diagram and I've kind of lost a lot of it. Since my last save somehow. So bewildered. I'm just thwarting your efforts. That's okay. Started. Everybody believed that he had started his son. Okay, so we've got his son.
2011, yeah. There was a belief. Everybody believed it. He had started his son, if you remember, Saif Gaddafi, formerly of the London School of Economics, showing that we can produce the best. Saif Gaddafi stood up and said, "We will fight to the last bullet," and so on. And everybody believed them. And the desire to intervene was caused in an attempt people do not want the resources of Libya. Nobody wanted Libya to fall apart or anything like that.
No.
They did it because there was a genuine belief in what was called at the time, which has gone out of fashion, but right to protect.
Okay.
Duty to
Well,
protect.
then riddle.
And that
well,
was why
okay.
they went in.
So okay, if that's
so it's
why,
just important to keep
it's
that
interesting.
Let me see if I can just hold up. Find duty to. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. I did a control find duty to protect because I clearly remember putting in duty to protect into my diagram and it's gone. Okay. Okay, he's bringing up clearly. I guess this helps us just get more clarification because I was rather tired at the last end of that. They did it because there was a genuine belief that was called at the time, which is gone out of fashion, protect or duty to protect. So he is claiming that there were pure reasons, I suppose, or good reasons for this opposing Gaddafi. They expected an uprising. Okay. Copy. Okay, and you're that. Oops. So he's categorically stated that the reason that Libya the reason that they went in there was not because they wanted to conquer Libya. It was a duty to protect the Libyan people. He has said that. Okay. Duty to protect is separate from wanting resources in a wanting to exploit resources, trouble in a country to gain resources. Okay, so he's said this is basically his distinction between what America was doing before and what the world was doing. What America can do and what it can't do. Yes, when it was with Iran, it was about resources, or Iraq, it was about resources. But now, with Libya, it was out of the goodness of their hearts. Okay. Duty to protect, and there, okay. Now we got
sort of nuanced
it's interesting.
around.
I don't think it's correct. I mean, you always kind of like ascribe the best of motives to Israel and the West, and nothing but the worst of motives to all of their enemies. So just riddle me this then. If we just went in because there was this uprising in 2011, and because we were worried that Gaddafi was about to go genocidal, something
I'm just so upset. Okay. Relax. Just focus. Just get it done. Genuine belief. So, okay. We've got, like, I remember also making a line for his response here. He's talking about this. He's talking about this selective empathy or selective sympathy for Israel and not Palestine. He did that. So here is another example. So okay, if that's why it's important. Well, I don't, but it's okay. This is all them speaking in between each other. I don't think it's correct. You always kind of like ascribe the best of motives to Israel and the West, and nothing but the worst motives to all the enemies. So just riddle me this. We just went in because there was an uprising, and because we were, if that's what the case is, okay? He's giving us an if statement here, guys. If we went in because there was this uprising in 2011 and because we were worried that Gaddafi was about to go genocidal, something that your own UK Parliament did an investigation into and found was wrong, okay? Okay, we went in because there was this uprising to okay, then he goes something that your own UK Parliament government did an investigation into and found out and said it was completely wrong. But why is it then that I got a 4-star general? Okay, here's the 4-star general, right? Okay. They said it was wrong. I think actually I want this to be separate as well. Here. And here we've got enter. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Okay, that your own UK Parliament did an investigation into and found out said was just completely wrong. Okay. But why is it that I got a 4-star general? Wesley Clark, he told me that. What did he tell you, Dave? He saw the plans in 2001 to overthrow Gaddafi. And this was part of strategy to overthrow 7 governments in 5 years. And all of them except one have been done at this point. Okay. At this point. Is this the 5, 7, and 5? Oh no. It was where we were at. This doesn't get a connection. Sorry. Okay, at this point. So he's got this 7 nations in 5 years. Okay. So you're telling me it's a complete coincidence that he saw the neoconservatives had this plan.
Something that the UK Parliament did an investigation into and found out was just completely wrong. But why is it then that I got 4-star General Wesley Clark, Supreme Commander of the NATO forces? Why is it that he told me that he saw the plans in 2001 to overthrow Gaddafi, and that this was part of a strategy to overthrow 7 governments in 5 years, and all of them except one have been done at this point? So you're telling me it's just complete coincidence that he saw that the neoconservatives had this plan to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, and then 10 years later we happen to do it when we have the opportunity? The two aren't related at all?
Okay, the two aren't related at all. Then he goes, first nice to, okay, so we've got this first nice to here. Okay. the N-word, which is okay again. So he's talking about the N-word being the neoconservative word. Word again. Then he goes the N-word. Did I say that? He doesn't pick it up. I remember this. The N-word. Did I say that? And then he's like, no, neocon. And then we laugh because it actually gets us off track when we when we make these jokes. But okay. The playing the N-word and whatever. Okay, cool. Very funny. Lol, lol, lol. Did I say that? Neoconservative. Neoconservative. Okay.
It's nice to hear the N word again.
The N word. Did I say that?
Conservatives.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
That one. I was thinking of a different one. Okay.
He was thinking of a different one. I guess it's because we're not really listening to each other anyway, and we're just expecting. Oh, for fuck's sake! And we're just expecting someone to insult us. So that's where it is. Okay, cool. Thank you. Can we get back to the point?
First of all, I would hope that there's American military planning for absolutely everything.
Okay. First of all, 9 is the real word. Yes. What's a neocon? A neoconservative. What does it mean to be a neoconservative? I don't know. I did say that conservatives. Okay. I would assume a neo. If I'm thinking of the names, neo is new as in new age. Conservative would be the new kind of conservative in that era. If you're talking about neocons. Nyan. I said it weird. I'm sorry. Nyan cat. Hi, Cyber Ringu. I would hope that there's America. Okay, so his argument here is America's got plans, and the fact that bro saw plans doesn't really mean anything. Okay. So we've got here. I would assume that America military has planning for absolutely everything. I would hope that there is a scenario for absolutely everything somewhere in the American Pentagon or whatever. Okay. Yeah, but we didn't say he was drawing up war games. Okay, so war games are a different thing than plans. Okay, so we're quibbling on the terms here. Again. Okay. Drawing up war games, you said this plan. This is the plan that we're going to... This is the plan where...
I would hope that there is a scenario for absolutely everything somewhere in the American Pentagon or whatever.
Yeah, but he didn't say we're drawing up war games. He said this is the plan that we're going to impose.
I would assume that, I would hope that any major power like America would have plans in place for almost everything that is like.
So he just has to repeat himself, okay? In place, I would hope that a major power like America would have plans in place for almost everything that is likely, including planning for some kind of kinetic force in Libya, okay? So this is one here. Plans in place for almost everything that is likely. And then he's got an including. Okay.
Likely. Including, I mean, this, America could have, should have started planning for some kind of kinetic force in Libya from the 1980s. Of course. Of course there'd be plans.
Yeah, but again, this is not what this is
Of
not.
course, there'd be plans. So the fact that the plans are there, it's not this conspiracy thing that he's talking about. Okay. Of course, there would be plans. He's taking the existence of these plans as a non-issue. Again, this is not what Wesley Clark said. Okay. So this is not just plans. He's in, Dave is going hard on this. No, this was a proper plan by America. America conspired and America did a thing.
Not what Wesley Clark said. He wasn't saying like.
Not what Wesley Clark is saying. Was saying. Whoa! He wasn't. Okay, so he's, I don't know, let me say maybe emphasizing the conspiratorial nature. America conspiratorial. Okay, so he's doing that, whereas we've got Douglas who is saying, nah, they just had plans. They didn't do it. Okay. Drawn up war games, we'd have drawn up war games with everybody. We have war games with China, blah, blah, blah. We've mapped out a kinetic war would work when countries that have nuclear. Yes, okay, Q aren't being used. Okay, we've got this. Okay, and that. And then he's like, that's not the case. Actually, this is over here. Same sort of point. Not really a follow-up. That's not what he's talking about. He said that not only he was told we're in Afghanistan now, this is late 2001. Okay, so I think this might need a follow-on.
We've drawn up war games. We've drawn up war games with everybody. We have war games with China, war games with Russia. We've mapped out how a kinetic war would work, even with countries that have nuclear arsenals, like just in case we have to fight a traditional war and nukes on.
He wasn't saying like we've drawn up war games. We have drawn up war games. These are not the same thing. Cool. China. War games with Russia. We've mapped out how kinetic war would work even with countries that have nuclear arsenals, just like in case we have to fight a traditional war and nukes aren't being used. Okay? Cool. So there is a distinction. Okay? So distinction between war games and nefarious plans, I suppose. Okay?
Aren't being used. That's not what he's talking about. He said that.
That's not what he's talking about. He said what? Okay, he said that not only was he told.
Not only he was told, we're in Afghanistan now. This is late 2001. He goes, next we're going to Iraq. After that, we're going to Libya. After that, we're going to Syria, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off with Iran. He laid out the path of what we're about to do, and then we did it. In the next administration, you don't think there was any connection between those two?
What, we did Somalia and Sudan?
No, I'm sorry.
So he's saying, here is the conspiracy, here is the evidence. I've got a 4-star general saying this. He said that he was told, sorry. Let's just put he was told. Let's not do all this fancy footwork. He was told we're in Afghanistan now. It's late 2001. He goes, next we're going to Iraq. So this is him referring back to this point over here. He's just expanding on it. This is the he's explaining a little bit more about this how many seven nations in 5 years. 7 nations in 5 years. Come. There's 7 countries in 5 years. Okay, this is his explaining it, expanding on it. Cool. We're still with you. Still with you, Dave. I'm following, I promise. Okay. Copy star. Okay, there was any connection between those two, so yeah, still, he's like, look, you see? Okay. Now we've got Global War on Terror tour. Okay. Yeah, there you go, Davina. So we did Somalia and Sudan. So this is Douglas asking a question. I'm not too sure exactly what he says. I mean, it is phrased like a question. Because we did Somalia and Sudan. I don't know if he's saying we did that, but not the others. I'm not sure. So, yeah.
His action between those two?
What, we did Somalia and Sudan?
No, I'm sorry.
Well, we did Somalia and Sudan, he says. Or is he saying, wow, we did Somalia and Sudan? Then we've got, no, I'm sorry, he's listen, I'm sorry. If you go look at the list of 7 countries, if you go look of the 7 countries, it was Afghanistan, Syria. So he's going to give us the list. Libya, I believe Somalia, Sudan, Iran, I believe. So this is his list. Again, I'm going to put a repeat because this is not new information. It's just rephrased. Okay. It was Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, I believe Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. I believe. Okay. That's what he believes. Why would America? So now Douglas is questioning this whole conspiracy, which I mean, it's what I do when I want to know about the flat earthers. Why do you believe? Why must I believe what you're saying? Why would people lie? It is a valid question. Why? How does it serve them to lie about this? Which, hey, when it comes to nations versus nations, it's very. It makes a lot of sense that you're going to lie about why your motives. Duh. Okay. What do we say, Douglas? Why would America want to do any of those things? Okay, so you've got to tell us why.
Listen, I'm sorry, if you go look at the list of 7 countries, it was Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, I believe Somalia, Sudan, and Iran, I believe.
Why would America want to do any of those things? Who wants to do it?
Well,
who wants to do it? Okay, so I would like to know whether I believe him or not. I really do want to know what his reasoning is, or what he believes the reason is. Okay, so tell me the answer. Well, what he said is that essentially
these plans, he said later in an interview with Piers Morgan that he had seen the plans at first in 1991, that they came from Paul Wolfowitz, that basically then
okay, in 1991. Okay, so here's where the laughing starts, guys, if you remember. In 1991, that they came from Paul Wolfowitz, and he tries to get to his next point, that basically then they go, what's so funny? Okay, so what's funny about that? About what is funny about what the 4-star general said? Okay, this is where I think we're getting close to where I was before. Then he's like, no, you can continue. Like remember how I was saying that just so and it's not helpful. This is not helpful. Basically came from Paul. That's basically. Then they go, what's funny about what the 4-star general said? It's continue, which doesn't help us either. Okay, continue, because he's busy laughing. Murray laughing. Douglas laughing. Continue.
They got what's funny about what the 4-star general said?
It's okay, go and continue.
No,
I fucking hate that. It's okay to continue. Like, don't laugh. Don't laugh and then not say anything. Like, your laugh is a comment. Okay, your laugh is telling us something. It's signaling to us. You can't say continue. Laugh laugh equals a signal that you disagree or something. It's just not useful to say continue when you're laughing already when you've already laughed at a comment. Just explain it. Like, explain why you're laughing then. It's bad that you laughed because now you've derailed us, but it's okay. Continue is also just madness. Okay? Why would America want to do any of these things? He's laughing. And there's like, no, share with the class. Important to note whether it's a forced laugh or a genuine laugh. I don't know. What do you think?
Just curious, what's funny about what the 4-star general said?
I mean, and then the thing is, he stops. Even if it's a forced laugh there, then you have the opportunity to talk. If it's not a forced laugh, you still have the opportunity to talk.
It's okay. Continue.
No, I'm just
it's okay. Continue. Like, no, that I think is the choice there. His behavior there is what I'm not happy with.
curious. What's laughable about this?
Yeah, like we have to do this. We have to. It's an unpleasant interruption, and it just fosters bad tension between everybody. I'm curious what's laughable about this. Okay. Okay. Because he thinks the laughing is him questioning what the 4-star general is saying, because remember, he says what's laughable about what the 4-star general said, but actually you'll see it's this Wolfowitz that he laughs at.
Paul Wolfowitz is a great figure for almost any deep conspiracy in this country, because he was a Deputy Secretary of Defense at the highest in his life. He is forever being ascribed almost supernatural power.
I don't think anyone's
Okay, so he's the thing that he took issue with was this Wolfowitz. It's not the 4-star general. It's where the 4-star general got his information from. Paul Wolfowitz is a great figure for almost any deep conspiracy. So your sources are unreliable is basically what he's saying. Questioning reliability of the 4-star general's source. Okay, so I don't know. This is just his opinion. I don't know about any of this. I'm just trying to get where the layout of their conversation here. So, sorry, that is supposed to be that. Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. Okay, Paul Wolfowitz is a great figure. I think it's my green tea that's helping. Conspiracy in this country because he was a deputy. That's not hard. Deputy Secretary of Defense at the highest in his life. He is forever being ascribed almost supernatural power. The highest position he ever got to was as Donald Rumsfeld's deputy. And it's a very strange thing. Fuck you with your strange, boy. Okay? Very strange thing. Thank you. So useful. Okay.
The highest position he ever got to was as Donald Rumsfeld's deputy.
Jab. I can't ask chat where I'm at with this debate, man. Okay, what? Mm-mm.
And it's a very strange thing always when Wolfowitz's name comes up, because
Wolfowitz, I don't know. His name comes up. Why? I'll also just add in here. Stop calling it strange. Okay.
He was a relatively low-level person to whom
This is he was a relatively low-level person to whom almost everything can be ascribed. I don't remember being satisfied with Dave's response here, but he does try. He was a relatively low-level person to whom almost everything can be ascribed. So he's got a relatively low level, I don't know, a low-level Deputy Secretary of Defense. That's sorry, it's a bit higher than, I don't know, most people, but okay. Now we have this is Dave's response.
almost everything can be ascribed. And
I didn't describe, again, this is
anyway,
such a straw man. I didn't ascribe everything to him. I'm literally telling you what
countries. But anyway, go on.
No, I'm telling you what the...
I think his focus on this was a straw man didn't help him yet. He's just supposed to say, he's not understanding that what Douglas is doing is questioning the reliability of your 4-star general sources. Mama baby. That's what he's doing. He's decided that the thing that Douglas is saying I'm doing is that I agree with Wolfowitz, everything that Wolfowitz said. It's like, no, he's questioned the validity of this Wolfowitz person. Okay, you have to deal with that, unfortunately. Though he did it in such a shitty way by just laughing. Yes, I know. I understand. It is implied. It kind of implied throughout this conversation. Yes, because of the way he uses it. When he says strange, he means not to be trusted. But I don't want to be interpreter. Stop saying that. I'm annoyed. It feels passive aggressive, and I'm not happy with that. I want you to be active aggressive. Let's go. I didn't describe again if this. I didn't describe. This is ascribe everything to him. I'm literally telling you what the general said. Mrs. I think it is him missing what validity of the general. Okay. I don't know. He was just already. He's so pissed off. It's just that the whole environment is not conducive to hearing each other, or wanting to. I didn't describe again. Describe again. This is a straw man. Whatever. I didn't describe everything to him. I'm literally telling you what the 4-star general said. What the 4-star general said about him. And then he does have a rebuttal, which I was also like, yeah. Also, as Deputy Secretary of Defense is not a bad thing. Is like a nothing position. It's pretty consequential. Okay.
4-star general said about him, and I wouldn't say Deputy Secretary of Defense is like.
I also said deputy. Sorry, we're retarded because we both said deputy. Deputy is deputy secretary. Okay, we just created the new word, me and Dave. Deputy, listen to him.
Nothing general said about him, and I wouldn't say Deputy Secretary of Defense is.
Deputy Secretary of Defense is like a nothing position. It's a pretty consequential position. Okay, that's a good enough response for what he was saying.
Like a nothing position. It's pretty consequential position.
Not as important as Rumsfeld.
And he's saying not as important as Rumsfeld, which of course means yes, because he's a deputy. That's how that works. Rumsfeld or Cheney. Okay, so great. We're wasting words on this. Not as important. So like there are more important things. Oh, there's a more important role than this. Deputy dog. Any deputy secretaries in chat? Yeah, well, I mean, there's lots of them. Come on there, Creamage. What's the, that's such a silly question. Okay, but yeah, agreed. Okay.
Or chain name, but yeah.
Yeah, agreed. But who said it was?
No, fine.
But who said it was? Exactly. He's kind of just getting pissy at him like, okay, are you fucking done? You just have to disagree with everything I say? This who said it was is actually pretty funny. the exasperation in Dave's voice here as well. It's just Dave is exasperated, like sign of debate brains on both. Brain taking on the conversation. Dave is exasperated with Douglas contesting absolutely every point he makes. Okay? Yeah, so that's like, who said it did? It's like, Deportory Chief of Persuasion, says Sokav. Amazing pun. It's me all the way.
Fine,
Oh,
right.
I just feel like
a secretary decatary? Okay.
you're batting down straw man. I never said that he is the creator of all conspiracies or anything. I'm literally
I never said that he's the creator of all conspiracies. Yes, that is. See, this is where and I think he didn't really hear what Douglas was talking about, because Douglas was not saying this is your argument. Douglas was using it as a counter argument. But when you're so used to somebody telling you what your argument is, a lot of the time you will just take what they said and say, I'm not saying that. I guess. So I know I didn't note that properly when we did it before. So, but who said it was? I just feel like you're batting down straw men. I never said that he is the creator of all conspiracies or anything. I'm literally saying that the 4-star general said he first saw the plans from him. Mm-hmm. Security advisor, and it basically been like, oh, okay, cool. So that's the second part. Let me first do this. Okay. All conspiracies or anything. Okay, so I want to do this. It's just, it relates back to he's missed the point here. Missing what Douglas is actually saying. And I guess we could say, yeah, Dave is so used to Douglas telling him what his own argument is. His automatic response. Say, as defining his arguments. Here, I'm just going. Here he thought Douglas was ascribing Wolfowitz to conspiracies to him, as opposed to it being a rebuttal for Dave's point. It's very, I find that so fucking fascinating, and it's juicy. Okay, fucking juicy. Okay, it's interesting to see that in the interaction. It doesn't give us anything. We don't learn much beyond, look at what the humans did in this little moment of this long ass debate. And I find that so fascinating. Okay. Feel like you're batting down straw men, blah blah. So that I'm literally saying that the 4-star general said, so you're gonna get no, we don't have that conversation now. Okay, then I'm literally saying that the 4-star general said, so we've got the replay button here, because this is like the third time he's trying to make the point. And He goes on about we're going to leave this for after. Like, oh, we'll look at this after the election. And then it was resurrected later by Richard Pearl and
saying that the 4-star general said that he first saw the plans from him, that he had brought this to the National Security Advisor, and it had basically been like, we'll look at this after the election, and that then it was resurrected later by Richard Pearl, and that these guys were producing. Again, not me saying this. This is 4-star General Wesley Clark. He said in a study paid for by the Israelis. And yeah, you can laugh at this all you want to, Douglas, but you can go read the clean break memo for yourself. This was the neoconservative strategy, along with their counterpart, the Likud in Israel, that they wanted to remake the region in a way, and I'm sure by their own justification, they believed that democracy would sweep the region and it would be better off for them. Nonetheless, they pursued this path that has ended in nothing but disaster. And I don't think that to say that in 2011, it was like a purely humanitarian mission to go overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, I do not think is right.
Well, first,
cool. Do not think is right. I wanna just split this up. I'm literally saying that the 4-star general said that he first saw the plans from him. Okay, this is the replay. Okay, that he had brought this to. Oopsie. That he had brought this to the National Security Advisor, and it had basically been like, oh, well, look at this after. Then it got resurrected. Richard Pearl. Okay, so he's just name dropping here. We're producing again, not me. Okay, so look, my authority, the fact that the 4-star general said it. 4-star general Wesley Clark, he said. Okay, so reasserting the validity of his source. Reasserting the validity of his source. Okay. And the consequence of this guy's thing. It was resurrected. Cool. He said in a study paid for. I don't even understand, because while this is happening, Douglas is laughing. So we've got it flusters Dave. Douglas laughs again. Because we've got, he said in a study paid for by Israelis, and yeah, you can laugh at this all you want, Douglas. But you can go read the clean break memo. So he just brings up all the words. He's just like, here's my Wesley Clark, here's my clean break memo. And basically, these things that he's pulling out are supposed to tell Douglas that he is right, and that and come to this point, this conclusion over here at the end. This was the neoconservative strategy, along with their counterpart, the Likud in Israel, that they wanted to remake the region in a way. And now this is his sort of point. He goes, this is like a little platitude he seems to add in here. He goes, oh, and yeah, they want to remake in a way. I'm sure that, and I'm sure by their own perspective, I think he's trying to say. Justification, they believe that democracy would sweep the region and it would be better off for them. Nonetheless, they pursued this path that has ended nothing but disaster. And I don't think that to say in, okay, disaster. So this is his one bit. Okay, and here, this is his main point. The main point he wants to get to is, oh God. BRB is what's happening. Yeah. All right, we're back. Interruptions abound. I'm determined. Fuck this. We're finishing it. I was supposed to be done by now. Like, really. so angry. But we're good. Just the drone ustification. Okay. By the way, it was sushi being delivered. So I will forego the sushi. That I'm sure their own justification that they believe that the market would sweep the region and it would be better off for them nonetheless. They pursued this path and ended up with nothing but disaster. Okay, and this is his main point. The main point he's trying to come to from all of this. Let's actually do a summary here. Okay. Is this. I don't think that to say that in 2011 it was purely humanitarian mission to overthrow Gaddafi, I do not think is right. Basically, that's all he was trying to say. All he was trying to say was, hey, that's not... I disagree with you. I disagree with you on why they went after Gaddafi. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Gotta run later. Bye, Davina. He hardly ever engaged with the substance of what Smith said. I agree, Charles. That's where we're at. And I feel like he could have done such a service by teaching us, actually, through things that he knew, instead of just deflecting and being pompous. Okay, I don't think that there's like this laughing, like that I suppose that helps you feel better, but if you're so worried about the danger of people not seeing the right side of history, I suppose, and you're so worried about people having the wrong ideas, then you should maybe humble yourself to the point where you're going to teach those people why they're wrong. It's in the fridge.
First of all, before I get to the substance of it, why would they want the current situation in Libya?
Okay, so all of this to make that point. Okay, why would they want... So we're back to this question. It's the same question. So we went through all of that, and we're also getting the same question from Douglas here. I'm going to put a line to it already. We're going to the same question. Why would that happen? Why would they want that? I think he said it here. No, is it even later? Well, we did say why would. So this here, we're repeating this question because we had a whole circle. Okay, this is this whole circle that of nothing. All of this was blah 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 blah, and then we're back to the same fucking question. Okay. No progress. We're at the same question. Okay, so he's asking the same question. Sorry, let me put that question in there so it is actually repeated and it's not like he's just a subtopic. Before I get to the substance of it, why would they want the current situation in Libya? Why would they want the current situation in Libya? Okay, you repeat it. Because they wanted Gaddafi out. Okay. He did ask about... I know that previous question was phrasing for Sudan, but it's the same sort of idea of what is the motivation behind this. It's like rephrased. Okay. Now we're just asking actually about Libya. We're not... oh shit, I've used the wrong color. Copper star. Okay. Okay, and we've got because they want Gaddafi out. Well, because they wanted Gaddafi out. Why?
Huh?
Why would they want the current situation in Libya?
Well, because they wanted Gaddafi out.
Why?
Well, okay, if you read the clean break memo, what their argument essentially is that you wanted to have regime change against the hostile surrounding Muslim countries.
But
okay. So this is the why of it. We're still on the why question. Okay. And the answer is, if you read, so he uses his Murray plays dumb so much. Yeah, he does this. Hey, Blair. Hi. I'm really stuck into this right now. I just need to get it done. It's getting to me. how I have not. What will it feel like to actually finish this, guys? Will you be here for it? Okay. Will you be here when I finish? Sorry. If you read the clean break.
Was Gaddafi not hostile to Israel? It's around their argument essentially is.
Why?
Well, okay, if you read the clean break memo, what their argument essentially is that you wanted to have regime change against the hostile surrounding Muslim countries.
But
okay, the hostile surrounding Muslim countries, but okay. So he's got but.
Was Gaddafi not hostile to Israel?
So we've got was Gaddafi. This is actually next. Was Gaddafi not hostile to Israel? I think I need to add the but in there. Hold on, you have to add the but. Yeah, don't forget buts. Okay. Copy style. But was Gaddafi not hostile to Israel? Okay. So now we're still trying to clarify the freaking question.
to Israel, yeah, sure. But he was, I mean,
To Israel, yeah, sure, okay. But
the Europeans and everybody else in NATO found that Gaddafi was a really relatively easy person to get on with latterly.
Right?
Yeah.
relatively easy to get on with latterly. Latterly, I suppose he meant, but okay, latterly. I don't know. Right? No, I think it was an insane policy.
Yeah, no, I think it was an
notice that
insane policy.
No.
Okay. I think you mean the thing means latterly. Okay. I think it was an insane policy. Laterally. Okay, laterally. Laterally. So he was easier. Oh, that's not too double T. Okay. Laterally. Okay, to get with. Thank you for that, Charles. Copper star. Okay, an insane policy. Cool. What are we getting here?
You'll notice that after he had.
No. You'll notice after that he hands over the nuclear program and thus makes himself very vulnerable, unfortunately, for the future of world peace. Okay. And we're still not tackling this question. We're just talking about him. We're just talking about Gandalfi. Okay, future of the peace, world peace. Okay, so I'm still not interacting further. We're just talking about it. We're on the same subject.
Hands over the nuclear program and thus makes himself very vulnerable, unfortunately, for the future of world peace. Libya has been unutterably disastrous.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Europe.
Okay, so he goes, Libya has been unutterably disastrous. Okay, so we've got the unutterably disastrous. This is, I suppose, the follow-on point. It's been disastrous. Cool. And, sorry, unutterably. Sorry, closed captions, not doing it right. Okay, now we have caught up to what we were doing the other day. Just so you guys know.
Hang on.
No, just a clarifying question.
Disastrous for Europe.
I agree with you.
Only disastrous for Europe, he says. For Europe. What is... And okay.
And Somalia and Sudan. Why?
Okay, so we've got that disaster for Europe, but then he goes to another one. Oh, and Somalia and Sudan. This is Sudan. That's exactly the same question as we are. Exactly the same thing. Somalia and Sudan. Why does America or Israel want to like regime change in? So he's going to a new question. Well, new repeated question. He's left the Libya thing. Okay, now he's asking about Sudan again. So. Same sort of topic, same sort of question going again, because we had it here. We're repeating. We still haven't made progress. We're basically still back there. Okay. God, why do I even bother? I'm trying to find our way again. The zoom on my Google Maps is just not good, is basically what I'm trying to tell you guys. Oh, okay, we're good. Okay, why? Change in Somalia. Okay, so now he wants to ask a clarifying question, so I don't think we're going to get this why answer. He needs to do a clarifying question. We're getting another question. Can I just ask you a clarifying question on this? Okay, so he's going to ask, what do you mean by disastrous? Okay.
Why does America or Israel want to like do regime change in Somalia?
Can I just ask you? Can I just ask you a clarifying question on this?
Yeah.
When you say that was a disaster for the prospects of world peace, you mean overthrowing Gaddafi was a disaster?
I say that.
When you say this was a disaster for prospects of world peace, you mean overthrowing Gaddafi was a disaster? Okay, so this is what he's asking. Okay, new question here because we're making more points and we're going to ask questions about the previous points instead of getting the answers for the previous questions. Okay, so what's his answer? I say that him being sorry, I should have clarified. My thing is him being overthrown after he's given over the nuclear weapons is a disaster because it leaves on the table this thing that you have to hold on to nuclear weapons. Okay. Don't hold to nuclear weapons, you could be dead. Okay, so that's what he finds disastrous. Okay.
That him being sorry, I should have clarified. My thing is him being overthrown after he's given over the nuclear weapons is a disaster because it leaves on the table this thing that you have to hold on to nuclear weapons, and if you don't hold on to nuclear weapons, you could be dead.
Do you think maybe the Israelis should stop using the term the Libyan model to push?
Okay, so now we've got this, he's dead, we've got his answer, and then it's, by the way, because of this, the Libyan model, because now we are talking about Libya, it's Gaddafi, Libya, cool. Now he's got to talk about the Israelis. Do you think maybe the Israelis should stop using the term Libyan model to push negotiations with Iran? Okay, because of that, the Libyan model, I suppose, would be, hey, that the Libyan model means your leader gets killed, I suppose, is why he makes that joke-ish, I think. Do you think maybe the Israelis, and he's being funny, should stop using the term Libyan model to push forward negotiations with Iran? Okay, what's this?
For negotiations with Iran?
No, I don't think anyone should use what happened to Gaddafi as being a good precursor.
Well, we certainly have a lot of...
Okay, so there, Iran. Okay, Iran, what was your answer? Okay, your answer is, no, I don't think anyone should use what happened to Gaddafi as being a good precursor for... Let's see, we're going to have to listen. We're going to have to use our whole ass ears. Let's hear.
Agree.
What happened to Gaddafi as being a good precursor.
Well, we certainly have...
For regime takeover, I think is what he said. Did he say regime takeover?
What happened to Gaddafi as being a good precursor.
Well, we certainly have a lot of agreement.
I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Okay, and then we've got flyover, which is interruption. And I guess he didn't want Douglas to get going, because when Douglas gets going, we get big blue patches. Okay. But yeah, I guess we interrupt each other. Well, I will certainly have we have a lot of agreement there. Okay. It was an absolute disaster. Okay.
There. It was an absolute disaster, particularly to let a guy get sodomized to death after he denuclearized is not a good precedent to set.
Okay, so it seems like they would agree on this, but is Debate Brain Douglas going to get upset about it? Because they've essentially agreed here to set. Okay, so don't get Debate Brain here. Don't now say, oh well, he's I need to disagree with him. Don't do that, because he's just agreed with you. You don't need to now change your tune or nitpick the way he's phrased it.
I agree, and that's one of the reasons why
he denuclearized is not a good precedent to set.
I agree, and that's one of the reasons
Yay.
why
one of the reasons why
Assad
Iran wants a nuke so
hung
bad.
on and
Okay. So I agree, and that's one of the reasons why Iran wants a nuke so bad. So he again with the flyover. So we're going to continue with the flyover, because we're just trying to get our own point out. We're not trying to listen to our opponent. Well, certainly have a lot of agreement there. It's an absolute disaster, blah, blah. He's trying to say... What is Douglas
I
trying to
agree,
say?
and that's one of the reasons why
one of the reasons why
Assad
Iran...
I agree. And that's one of the reasons why Assad, I think he was trying to say. And then we've got the flyover. One of the reasons why Iran doesn't want to denuclearize or something. There we go. This is it.
wants a new precedent to set.
I agree, and that's one of the reasons why
one of the reasons why
Assad
Iran wants a nuke so
hung
bad.
on and
One of the reasons why Iran wants a nuke so bad. Okay, so yeah, it is very nice. We got an agreement. I think I should actually make sure that we just hello, look. He did get the agreement, because remember I was worried that he was just gonna go debate brained and nitpick. Good on Murray to not go debate brain and let Dave's agreement and turn Dave's into a disagreement. Okay, it's good. Cool, you can agree on it. Well done, boys. Well done.
I'm not sure it's just to avert being sodomized to death, as you put it, but yeah, the
Okay, no, never mind, boys. He had to say no. I'm not sure it's that, because he has to nitpick on everything, right? I guess he has to make sure it's accurate. I guess that's his point. He's trying to be accurate. One of the reasons why Iran wants a nuke, I'm not sure it's just because they mean. Okay, wait. The transcript is overlapping their speech.
I'm not sure it's just to avert being sodomized to death.
I'm not sure it's just overt being sodomized to death. Sodomized to death. What are we trying to say?
Death, as you put it, but yeah, they want.
As you put it. Oh, never mind. There is the debate brain. Whoopsie, there's the debate brain. I would say it's debate brain, even though he's trying to be accurate. The way Dave worded it. So we don't make any progress that way. But I guess there are then bad faith people that will then say, you see, you thought of this the same way Dave did. And
Want
you
a
have to
nuke.
be very clear.
Because if you like what the Iranian Revolution.
Okay. But yeah, what's next? But hey, I mean, if you like what the Iranian had done since 1979, you'd love what they'll do with the world when they've got a nuke. I mean, yeah, that's a bit scary. Thanks. Okay. And then?
Revolutionary government's done since 1979. You'd love what they'll do with the world when they've got a nuke. But anyway, put that aside for a second. I mean,
Yes. Please put that aside and get back to the conversation you were having. Okay, put that aside. Where are we going? Where are we going, Douglas? Take us.
I'm sorry, we slightly come back to where we started, but
Because we have not gotten anywhere. We've come back to where we started, so shall we go over here? I'm sorry, we're slightly come back to where we started. Let's see. And that's telling because we're getting closer to the end of the conversation. So come back to where we started. Okay, no, he goes back to the Wolfowitz guy.
When you start talking about Paul Wolfowitz and Richard Pearl, it's all awfully
Wolfowitz and Richard Pearl. Don't you dare, boy, don't you dare say it's awfully strange. Don't you dare, okay? I don't know, I haven't looked at the transcript. But let's see what he says.
Noxious smelling.
Okay, now he goes noxious smelling. He didn't say strange, he said noxious smelling. Okay, there we go. You will be the world's foremost expert on this debate. I don't think so, because it's a conversation. I can be an expert on the conversation. But I mean, I can't hold all of this in my head at once. This will be a source for experts. But also, who wants to be an expert on this debate? Me? No. But yes, will I be allowed? I guess I'm allowed to comment on it if you've dubbed me expert, right? Then I'm allowed to talk about it. Oh wait, me talking about it made me an expert apparently. No, anyway, sorry. Just that is the core of the debate, really. That's the thing that everyone started warring about, really, about the experts. Awfully noxious smelling. Sorry, that's actually not a separate point. He didn't say strange. Oh, I look forward to seeing you on Piers Morgan. My goodness, I've tried to diagram a Piers Morgan. It's been very funny.
Richard Pearl was a member of the Defense Policy Board.
Okay. Talking about it's just awfully noxious smelling. So I think we can separate this point. So he's telling us why it's noxious smelling. Tell us why it's noxious smelling, my baby. My baby is actually a word that's left for my husband, so I don't know why I said that. I think maybe I'm just missing him. Okay. Richard Pearl. Richard Powell was a member of the Defense Policy Board, which had an advisory capacity. Okay.
Which had an advisory capacity toward the Pentagon in the early 2000s, but it was by no means a policy board that dictated Pentagon policy.
Okay. Okay, so again, he is again attacking the veracity, the truth, the confidence he has in Dave's witnesses, basically. So the strength, Dave's sources. Okay, so he knows who this person is. He's discrediting them. He's saying, yeah, but they're not big enough for me. It's annoying how Douglas is not as much concerned about the accuracy of Dave's accusation as he is about those accusations sounding iffy or anti-Semitic or something.
In the last 30 years of American foreign policy, there have been many major actors.
Okay, so wait, we've got this. He's starting off his point. I promise he's going to get there. Because we know that he has to tell us a big story for us to get what he's trying to say. So he's saying these people, this is why they're noxious to us. Sorry. We are on the same line, okay? In the last 30 years of American foreign policy, we have been many major actors. Okay, so he goes Paul Wolfowitz, whatever.
Paul Wolfowitz is a relatively major one. But we come...
Is a relatively major one, which is what Dave is trying to say, and that's why he takes what he says seriously.
Slightly back full circle. In my view, I'm not saying you're guilty of this, certainly not knowingly. In my view, when people start talking about Paul Wolfowitz, I always remember that line of Mark Stein's many years ago. And he's...
Oh, Jesus. The line. I always remember this line. I like to quote people whenever I respond to anything. It's just the way he works. I'm not saying it's a bad thing and it logically doesn't make sense. I'm just annoyed by it. That's all. And yeah, I guess that just I'm just revealing my bias. The great poet once said, blah 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 is what it comes off as. So I'm not saying you're guilty of this, certainly not knowingly. Okay. Come slightly back full circle, in my view. But we could saying you're guilty of this knowingly. He's dancing, boy. He's dancing all around this because he's prefacing it. He's hedging. Yeah. Okay. Listen. Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna come back to the fact that I was laughing at Wolfowitz guy. Okay. So he at least acknowledges that he's replaying what he's talking about. Sorry. Let's take that out. It's in the next one. In my view, when people start talking about this is what I mean by him playing nice. Actually, this is him socializing it. Actual socializing of the issue, making the accusation aiming the accusation at the people, not Dave. At others, not Dave specifically. I've been wanting him to do this the whole debate. I've been wanting him, when he's trying to explain something, to try and push it to other and not focus on Dave, because Dave will then get defensive. Talk about, okay, this is what I think of these people, and stop putting Dave in that box. Tell Dave what you think about these people and why, and then we can see where Dave is, which box he's in. But throughout most of the conversation, what Douglas has done is put him in the same box as other people, because he has a judgment on Dave from the beginning. Okay. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Okay. Paul, so we've got not lying in. I always remember the line of Mark Stern years ago. Okay, here we go. So just continue. When people...
He said, you can't help thinking that one of the reasons why people find Wolfowitz so appealing to talk about is that his name starts with a nasty animal and ends Jewish.
Wow, so just to make a joke. Okay. Wow, so we went there. Okay, we think about this. So thank you for the joke. Banter, here we go. I guess we are on a podcast again.
That is a funny thing to say. I think
that is a funny thing to say. And of course, Joe will give you a laugh for that. We're still not having the conversation we need to, but hey, it's podcastistan. Why not? We're making jokes. We do this all the time on Thinkers, actually. We really stab out of the conversation just so that we can get a joke in.
It's such a great name.
It is for an
That's a funny thing to say. It's such a great name, says Joe. Okay, fine. We're all laughing. We're all being merry, but we're still not talking about the thing. So I'm impatient.
An evil
Right,
villain
right.
in a movie.
You can say,
Yeah,
aha.
It is for an what? It's a great name for an evil movie. Okay.
He's perfect for it. Perfect
yeah.
for it.
And he
Okay, he's perfect for it. Okay. Okay, we have to note these things because they've taken, this is a map of it. So this is where they go. I have to go with them.
looks perfect for it.
Right, you'll say, oh, the crafty Paul Wolfowitz.
It's crazy.
Okay, he's perfect for it. I can say. Wolfowitz. I don't know how I'm supposed to spell it, but Diagram knows what Diagram is talking about.
Easy eyebrows.
So you're a bigot. You're a Jew hater if you mentioned
the crafty Paul Wolfowitz.
His crazy eyebrows.
So you're a bigot.
So we've got crazy eyebrows as well. All very entertaining. That's why I put the little game thing, because they're playing games and making fun. And it's fun in the sun. But we're still not making any progress.
You're a Jew hater if you mentioned the Neo.
So you're a Jew hater. Now Dave brings it back. Takes it back. It's like, so you're a bigot, you're a Jew hater if you mention the neocons. Okay. This is how Dave decides to respond to all of this, to this comment. So you're a bigot, you're a Jew hater if you mention the neocons. He's not playing as much.
No. Just let me continue with the thought.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember those days.
He either is implying that Dave is anti-Semitic or that his arguments don't matter because anti-Semites might have also critiqued Wolfowitz.
And so I remember those days, and his boss, Donald Rumsfeld.
Where should I put this? Hold on. I'll put this here. They're laughing. But Douglas did a sneak there. Oh, sorry. Let's put you Nico. Sorry, Nico. He's brought it about. Either he's implying, and I don't like this whole implying thing. It's not helping with us having clarity, is it? He's implying that Dave is anti-Semitic, or that his arguments don't matter because anti-Semites might have also critiqued Wolfowitz. Okay. Kitty Bowl, yes. That's also part of the comment.
Was like the rule.
Let me continue with the thought. Okay. Let me continue with the thought. So I remember those days his boss, Ronald Rumsfeld, was like the ruler of the world at the time. Okay. He'll get to the point, I suppose. He will at some point.
Ruler of the world at that time. He had such charisma, such genius was attributed to him for the initial invasion of Iraq. Like people, you can't imagine the admiration that existed in the defense establishments around the world for Rumsfeld. Dick Cheney was so powerful that people of right and left, particularly on the left, spent all those years in the W. Bush administration saying W. wasn't the real president. He was being run by Dick Cheney because he was the brilliant, etc., etc.
You're certainly listening to him at the beginning.
Okay, but I'm just saying it goes.
He's the brilliant, etc., etc. And we've got. He was certainly listening to him in the beginning. Okay, here. The cats are having poop zoomies, so that's not my husband jumping around in boxes. Okay, okay, but I'm saying it goes back to this thing of when certain ideas catch hold. Okay.
It goes back to this thing of when certain ideas catch hold and what's really going on in them. Now, to attribute American foreign policy in the last 40 years to Paul Wolfowitz and...
Okay, so to catch hold and what's really going on in them. Okay, I think this is a second thing it attributes. Okay, so we had all this preamble. I think we might be at the point. Okay, I think we might have it. So that's the preamble, which becomes relevant when you get to the point.
Dick Pearl is knowingly or otherwise to encourage a conspiracy that has very obvious legs. And I just urge you not to do it.
Okay, let me respond to this.
Okay, so basically he's like, you are... This is the repeated of his thing. I don't believe it. It's conspiracy theory things. This is all the same point he was making, is that Wolfowitz is a conspiratorial. You're to attribute American foreign policy in the last 40 years to Paul Wolfowitz and Dick Pearl is knowingly or otherwise to encourage a conspiracy that has very obvious legs. I just urge you not to do it. So he's saying, look, the things you're talking about, you're just talking about conspiracies. And I urge you not to do it. Is Dave's going to obviously take that as a challenge. Still just challenging Dave's sources. Okay, so he's just challenging. It's the same thing. We haven't really moved much forward from this comment. We've spent all of the time, and it's just here. Not even the why. Is this the why? Yeah. This, when he's laughing. We haven't moved from much from the laughing. Is it here? Where is the laughing? Yeah, what's laughable? It's okay, continue. We haven't actually moved there. He's maybe expanded the point a little bit, but we have not moved from that point. All of this has not been progress. We've just had words and words and words. That's all just why I like having it visually. We went and we had this whole conversation, okay, over here. And we did all of that work, and we had all the optics that was involved. All of this stuff does matter to the audience when they hear all of these things, and maybe things get clipped along the way. But we had this whole conversation, and we circle back. We actually haven't moved beyond that point. We had all of that. We just haven't moved beyond him laughing, honestly. He's just instead, I guess we could say we've moved beyond him laughing in that he's explained why it made him laugh. In many, many, many words. And in between they had little tussles about little factoids. And that's just tedious for somebody who wants to learn from a conversation. I don't know. I have to be doing this to make sense of it, to try and figure out what I'm supposed to learn from them. They're just back and forth all the time. So while this has been fun to do, it captured the internet. Only bits of it have really been valuable. It's
a little bit. First of all, I did not. It is not.
Okay, so now he's going to respond to all of this. Fuck's sakes. So because we haven't moved, we have to now rehash the response, right? So he's going to go, I did not. So what's your response? I did not. All I'm saying is that these guys just control everything. Okay, he's not saying that. So we've got to. We need to understand what Dave is telling us, what his view is, and maybe that's. Will they agree on anything with regard to that?
All saying that these guys therefore just control everything. I'm just pointing out what a force.
Okay, I am not. Do you see that we are not progressing because he's literally saying the exact same thing he said earlier on? All I'm saying, I'm not at all saying that these guys therefore just control everything. Okay? I'm just pointing out what a 4-star general claimed. Okay? Where plans. So somehow him saying this now, same as the repeats before, we have not moved. I'm just saying that the 4-star general claimed where plans originated and that they ended up being implemented.
Star General claimed where plans originated and that they ended up being implemented.
That they ended up being implemented. Okay? That doesn't mean that they were the absolute ruler or arbiter of what was going to happen. But again, I got to say, for you to say that I can bring up the neoconservative, okay, fuck.
Doesn't mean that they were the absolute ruler or arbiter of what was going to happen. But again, I gotta say,
yeah, that's not. They're talking past each other because it seems Douglas is saying your sources for this information, your sources for these plans, this whole point, based on who you're talking about, they are not reliable. They're very conspiratorial. He's trying to cast doubt on it. That's what he's trying to do. But what Dave focuses on once more is that I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they are in control of everything. It's like we just got to disagree with the point the person's making, and therefore that will make their criticism no longer valid. It's just we're not getting deeper here. We're just going further to the right here. That doesn't mean that they were the absolute ruler or arbiter of what's going to happen. But again, this is supposed to be a separate point. I got to bring up. Okay.
For you to ruler or arbiter of what was going to happen. But again, I gotta say, for you to say that I can't bring up the neoconservative.
I never said you could.
For you to say I can't bring up the neoconservative. Okay, so this I'm going to put this in a separate block because it is his next step that he takes. Because now I wasn't saying that. Again, we just always trying to decide what the other person is trying to say. We're never asking it. We're saying for you to say, he literally says, for you to say that I can't bring up the neoconservative, which is essentially what he's saying by questioning it. It is. Let me just.
I just laughed.
Let me just. Right.
I just laughed. Exactly. Let me just. A neoconservative. I didn't, he says. I just laughed. So we have not moved. Wow, I'm loving it. I just laughed. You did just laugh, but you are saying, okay. By laughing, Douglas did not use those words, but his overall point is to say overall point functionally says you can't bring that up. It's true. Okay, so we're getting there. Kiwi woman formerly plotting a rhetorical debate. Now I've seen it all. I'm not a Kiwi woman. I know I sound a little. I'm South African. I'm not in South Africa though. Okay, I didn't. I just laughed. You know how I feel about him laughing. Hi, Galicia. Welcome. Okay.
But the implication is that I'm unwittingly giving fertile ground to some like Jew-hating conspiracy if I bring up a guy who's got a Jewish last name who was a consequential person in our government. This is like identical to the arguments of the woke left. That would.
Okay, so implication is that I'm unwittingly giving fertile ground to some like Jew-hating conspiracy if I bring up a guy who's got a Jewish last name who's consequential. Yeah, it is implying. Sorry, it is an implication. Sorry for you. Right, but the implication is that is with your laughter, especially as we've noted the whole way through, Douglas. When you don't complete somebody's argument, your argument, they will fill it in for you. When you laugh, he's going to decide what that means. So maybe you should just fucking tell him what you mean. God. Okay. Right, but the implication is that unwittingly giving fertile ground, Bingo, who's got Jewish last name, who's a consequential person in our government. Okay. Then he characterizes that as what the woke left does. That would be a follow-on. This is what the woke left does. This is identical to the arguments of the woke left. Okay? So this kind of makes me go, are you woke, right? Okay, let's see.
Would just be like, oh, if you even say something, if you bring up the crime rate in Chicago, you're basically a bigot because other people could take this and run with it.
Come on.
Yeah. This is his example. He's given an example. He's saying work that would just be like, oh, if you even say something, if you bring up the crime rates in Chicago, this is his example. He's explaining it. Okay. Same mechanism. If you even say something, if you say something. Okay. If you bring up the crime rates in Chicago, you're basically a bigot because other people could take this and run with it. That's the whole thing that Douglas has done this whole time to Dave. So Dave seems like he genuinely just asks these questions, not the JQ, just questions. Seems like it. But what Douglas thinks is that he is a JQ guy. That's the problem. Douglas has put him in the same box as those people. Whereas Dave, earnestly, I don't know whether you believe him or not, he is just trying to have those conversations. He's not part of the Jew hating whatever. And you're using the fact that people hearing this can go and take it and be stupid with it. That becomes his responsibility, apparently, as well. We spoke about this with thinkers and the experts today. Go and watch the episode where we spoke about experts and what is their responsibility. And it's like people will be stupid no matter what. We call them the Tide Pod eaters. They are going to be Tide Pod eaters that think just because someone referred a little bit to something Tide Pod related, they must now go and eat the Tide Pod. Obviously exaggerating for effect in this case. But yeah, he's trying to single himself out from the Jew-hating conspiracy theorists. He is. But Douglas puts him in with them because he talks about it at all. So it's this condemning. So he's actually calling out, I agree with him, he's calling Douglas out and saying, you're using the same tactics as our opponents do. Meme in Discord. Thanks, Nico. I will celebrate with the meme. Okay? Something, if you bring up the crime rate in Chicago, you're basically bigot because other people could take this and run with it. We could get into the question. We haven't gotten into the question of whose responsibility it is when people take this and run with it. Like what is this? That seems like Douglas has ideas about their responsibility. They're not supposed to talk about these things because they're going to support bigots. I suppose it's like you can't. That's exactly the feeling that you can't talk. If you criticize a gay person, you are completely homophobic. If you go anywhere near a Jewish person in conspiracies, you are JQ. It's this black and white thinking. I understand when it comes to something so sensitive, it's very easy to go, that person's probably anti-Semitic, because you're like, no, you know, it's an accusation that comes naturally, I suppose. Right, so we've got, oh no, you come on. Wow, this is interesting. Could take this and run with it. So we've got come on here.
No, you come on. What's the argument?
If Tide Pod not lolly, then why look like lolly? Exactly, you're so right. So I will check the meme when we get to 50 minutes. Okay, so oh come on. We've had some repeated oh come ons from both sides. Very fun. Oh come on, and then no, you come on. This is a great clip. No, you come on. Let's clip that. Write it down here. Let me just put this in for myself. What is it? 2:48. 36. Lol. Okay, I'm gonna put that there and make it a different color because it's a lol. Okay, there we go. No, you come on. Oh, come on. No, you come on.
If you said to me,
I said a 4-star general and run with it.
Come on.
No, you come on. What's the argument?
What's the argument? No, you come on. What's the argument? What is the argument? I've been waiting my whole life for this. Okay.
If you said to me,
I said a 4-star general said.
If you said to me, okay, Daisy. Daisy's excited because we're close to the end. If you said to me, so we've got the flyover because there's interruption. Guys are getting excited. We're almost done. Okay, come on. If you said to me, no, he's gonna fly over you. Interrupt. What's he saying? I'm telling you, the 4-star general. So we've got have you been and the 4-star general is as the repeated lines. If you said to me, I said 4-star general said something, and there's no. So wait, they're talking. Oh, for fuck's sake! We're so close. I'm almost there. Come on! You guys didn't see me jump up and down, but I'm like, let's go! Let's go! You know what? Let's look at the meme. You bloody no, you bloody you. You fucking. Sorry. Let's go to our meme. Courtesy of Nico, meme master. Let's just let me check it out. Memes. We've got this open link. Thinkers before objective. Oh, that's our previous think, guys. Here. Let's do this there. Thinkers before objectivity versus subjectivity. So we're having a conversation. Thinkers after objectivity. This is what happened when we continued to we had this discussion. So if you go to our last two thinks, we tried to do this, and that's what we basically landed up doing to ourselves by continuing to talk about a subject to the nth degree, and nothing made sense eventually. Which is why we created that experience with pancakes versus waffles today. What the fuck was that moaning noise? Could be Daisy. Oh, it might be me. I was jumping up and down. I was jumping up and down on the side going, woo! Might have been me. But Daisy, the cats are doing activation meows, which is like that. So they're doing that. Yeah, they're chasing each other. Yeah. So this is gonna go down. Could you not? Like there's a whole fucking house for you. Okay. So, yes. Get back to it. Let's go. No, they're chasing each other. They have to chase each other. You can't survive. Okay. Let's put you over here. You behave, sir. Oh my god, now I have to reconfigure all my fucking windows. There we go. Oh, you went full tism mode? Because I got very excited. Okay. And my cats went poop zoom mode. Said 4-star general.
Something. And there's no, what's the response?
And there's no, what's the response? Okay, the response is that your 4-star general is not good enough. That's what I'm hearing, Dave. What I'm hearing for you is that your sources for your 4-star general is no bueno. That's what I'm hearing.
If you said to me, or somebody said to me, don't you?
Okay, so he just goes back to the original statement he was trying to make before he was or they interrupted each other.
Think that some people are running the global financial system, and I said possibly, and I said, who do you think it is? And they said the Rothschilds. I think I'd be right in saying there was something a bit off.
Fuck off!
About the character of the person doing that, because it seemed like they were playing to some kind.
He's being passive aggressive. Yeah, just saying they're talking shit. Say they're talking shit. Oh, it's a bit off. It's a bit off. There was something a bit off about the character of that person. No, they're talking shit. Doing that because it seemed like they were playing to some kind of lazy old trope, and I think okay. Some lazy old trope.
And a lazy old trope. And I think similarly that if you give the implication that a cabal of people, particularly, and you should be really careful about this because of the people who will come.
Oh, you saying you should be careful is not gonna go down well, but you know, it's not like Douglas is there to please anyone. Okay.
Up underneath you. If you give the implication that these cabals exist and you decide to...
Sorry. And you should be... Sorry, we've got to... And you should be very careful about this. Underneath you. Okay, we have to restart the sentence. Give the implication that these cabals exist and you decide to elevate the Jews. Or people with Jewish names in it, and then play down.
To elevate the Jews, or people with Jewish names in it, and then play down the non-Jews, I can tell you, you will be opening up a world of madness.
Okay, you will be opening up a world of madness. Now, who is responsible for that world of madness? The mad people? The mad people? The people that decide to run with it, as Dave spoke about? Or what? Yeah, what are you doing? I understand there's some level of responsibility, but when somebody is, people are gonna is what I'm trying to say. Is people are gonna eat the Tide Pods?
Am I really playing down the non-Jews? I mean,
yeah, and he's saying you're accusing me of that. Basically, he's like, no, but you got to be really. So he's like, am I playing down the non-Jews? He spoke about the. But I guess I can see someone being sensitive to what Dave is bringing up and saying, Dave, you're a secret anti-Semite, somehow secret Jewish anti-Semite, because you're flirting with this idea. You're coming near to it. But am I really playing down the non-Jews? Okay, he's asking this because this is an accusation. So let's see. He's defending himself against an accusation.
Go look at the stuff that I've said about Obama, about George W. Bush.
You said Middle East policy.
No, George W. Bush. So he's like, he's like, look, I'm not hating on people just for being Jewish, because I think that's just stupid. Okay, it's just stupid racism at the end of the day. I'm okay with cabals. Okay, I'm okay with cabals being your chosen explanation for things that are happening in the world. But if you're just saying because this person's name ends in a certain way, that is what makes them part of the cabal. Okay. Now you're just being a racist. Now you're just being stupid. Okay.
She is Dick Pearl and Paul Wolfowitz, and I said,
no.
Okay, I said you said Middle East policy is Dick Pearl and Paul Wolfowitz. No, he didn't. But I guess it has to be. It has necessary. I think it's necessary. I'm okay with kobolds. I knew someone was going to do that. Thanks, Joseph.
No, I mean, this is why I'm saying this is a woke leftist tactic.
Okay. And I said Dick Pearl Wolfowitz. This is necessary for his point to be. Like, why did you bring those names up if you didn't mean that they brought up the plans? But okay, fine, we're with this. You said Middle Sea, and then what does our man say? What are you busy with here? And I said no. I mean, this is, so we're gonna repeat. We're still having this thing about this is a repeat here. Because he's gonna say this is the woke tactic, and we have to repeat it because it didn't work the last time.
I literally just mentioned that a 4-star general said this. No, I'm quoting him, and now you're telling me that this is the same thing as promoting.
To me that when you quote somebody, it's a totally arbitrary thing that you just pluck out of the air. You decided.
Okay, I'm quoting him. Now you're telling me that this is the same thing. Okay, he's trying to say I don't know, you're trying to tell me it's the same thing as being a JQer. Okay, he's basically, I think that's what he's going for. But now he's going to say, but you're quoting. So he's giving this intentionality behind what Dave is doing, and Dave has to now defend himself and say, no, I'm not like them. Okay. Don't pretend that when you quote somebody, it's don't pretend it's an arbitrary thing. Okay. Don't pretend. When you quote somebody, it's a totally arbitrary thing. I don't think that's what he's doing. But so you're ascribing a certain value, a certain intention behind ascribing an intention behind his quotation that Dave disagrees with. That Dave says he doesn't have. So he's ascribing this. Okay, cool. This is the whole way through. He's done this.
I'm not arguing that it's arbitrary. I'm saying
pluck out of the air. You decided when you quote somebody, it's a totally arbitrary thing that you just pluck out of the air. You decided.
I'm not.
You just pluck out of the air. Okay, he's saying I'm not arguing that because half of the time that's what you have to do. Say what you're not arguing. I'm not arguing that it's an arbitrary thing. I'm saying I'm just using the quote for a reason. I was connecting it to an argument. Okay.
I'm not arguing that it's arbitrary. I'm saying I'm using the quote for a reason. I was connecting it
Yes.
to an argument.
And I'm
Yes, he's connecting it to an argument, and now you have given that reason. You've ascribed that reason to Dave. Quote, for a reason, I was connecting it to an argument. To an argument, and I'm saying, okay, what's happening?
saying,
Using the quote for a reason. I was connecting it to
Yes.
an argument.
and I'm saying,
Okay, what are you saying? What are you saying? And yes, and I'm saying, please be clear. And I'm saying to you, I'm giving fertile ground.
to you,
I'm
that I
giving
think
fertile
that
ground to
you're-
Shut up! You could have let him finish. Although I guess when you do let him go, I understand. So saying to you, so we fly over, boys. Fly over interruption zone. Blah blah blah. I'm saying to you, and we've got here's what he says instead. I'm giving fertile ground to Jew haters. Yep.
Jew haters to mention.
think that
Yes. That is, I think that's what he's saying, but it would have been better if we let him word it. Okay.
when you decide to elevate what is a conspiracy of people who are
Now he's going to reword it for us. Okay, I think that when you decide to elevate, okay. So this is how Dave interprets what he's saying. He's just going to use all the words in there, to carry on. Okay, to make it sound different. Okay, there. But I think that they actually are saying the same thing, and I am saying to you. And he's saying to you, how does this end? We've got 8 minutes. What did we do in 8 minutes? Okay, I think that when you decide to elevate what is a conspiracy of people,
overthrowing the governments of various countries, some of which haven't been overthrown and others of which have, but by the way, were not overthrown by American dominance, certainly not in Syria. And then you say that the people who are doing it are these people with Jewish names. I think you should be more judicious than that, because you probably know what bubbles up underneath you online by now.
okay. So yeah, he took the mention of Wolfowitz as a dog whistle. Guys, this is dog whistle theory. Bringing up Wolfowitz is like, you see, I brought up the Jewish name there. You see, so he's basically saying I'm giving fertile ground. That's exactly they are in agreement, but Douglas has to talk more. I think that when you decide to elevate what is a conspiracy of people who are overthrowing the governments of various countries, some of which haven't been overthrown, and others of which, by the way, were not overthrown by American dominance, certainly not in Syria. Okay, cool. So we had to do that. This is all repeats. Thank you for the rerun. Then you say that the people who are doing it are kind of these people with Jewish names. I mean, he just mentioned where the 4-star general got this plan from. But okay, I think you should be more judicious than that, because you probably know what bubbles up online underneath you online by now. I want to say, okay, cool, what do we do about those bubbles underneath us? The Tide Pod eaters.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's no question that there are, no matter what, and by the way, it's funny just hearing you say this to me. I mean, look, and by the way, I completely agree with you. I think you've been one of the best champions on opposing Europe's insane immigration policy. I also think the United States of America.
Oh my God, this is... We've always got to explain the bottom of it. I know I do this, I know, but that doesn't mean that it's entertaining or good. Okay. So he starts off a point. I mean, there's no question that there are, that he starts that no matter what. Okay, so this is like diagram again. How many times I'm gonna say it? It's like diagramming how I speak. And by the way, it's funny just hearing you say this to me. Okay. This is another point. Okay. I mean, look, by the way, I completely agree with you. I think you've been one of the best champions on opposing Europe's insane immigration policy. Okay. So he's there. We're on that point. Okay. What do we do here? I also think the United States of America has had insane immigration policy. Okay. How hard would it be to have some kind of point system to keep track of score? Okay, so Joseph, I have considered this. I'll show it to you in once we're done here, because we're going to finish this. There is something that I will have where I've done it before, but just not very well. But I now have life bars. So basically, the way I'm thinking is I will have 10 units of health for the two opponents. And then as we go through the debate, you minus it. So you start off, let's say you start off with an equal amount of health, and then you lose it as you go along, and lose and gain. So you could lose points, gain points, things like that. But it would be difficult to make that a very sound system. Subtract based on what though? So you see that's the thing. That's kind of, it would be vibes based. It would be, okay, he has done bad behavior here, as in like he's been bad faith. This person has stunted the conversation. So maybe we could do this. We could brainstorm it together. Do a stream or something about how I should do the system. Like if you do this, we remove this points. But it really would be a feelings-based thing. It would not be. Perhaps based on logical fallacies. Does Murray's accent give him a health buff? that sort of thing, perhaps based on logical fallacies, straw man, non sequitur. Yeah, I would have to list them and come, because they come up, and then so we've kind of got this in this kind of thing over here in the beginning, in the key. It's a kind of thing like we would basically have to assign points to these things in the key, is what you're talking about here. So if I go here to the key, okay, and we've got things here like, okay, connections, whatever idea we could explore. That over there, like that makes me, if we run over it, see, sometimes things like an idea we could explore that gets completely lost, it's the fault of both people. So I can't do that. But repeats, do we take life away for repeats? Optical win, clippable moment. Optical win is like those slam dunk ones. Banter or for diffusion or entertainment, that wouldn't take away life. So I would need to really settle on non sequitur, blah blah blah. What time is it over in South Africa? It is I'm in Dubai, and the time is 7:15 at night. And I've not turned on the lights in the rest of the apartments. I've just got my ring light. Okay, we are... Should I turn on my lamp? Let's turn on... I love lamp! Let's turn on the lamp. Hey, Didi! I felt there were a lot of times Dave posed questions that just got swept aside. Yeah, it would be way more valuable. It would be difficult and more time consuming, but to have some sort of counter of those moments, you would say definitively Dave was more bad behavior than Douglas or something like that. But in terms of, based on vibes overall, the 4-star general thing, well, it was swept aside. No, the thing is, see, that's Joseph. That's like it would have to be agreed upon by everyone watching, really, because I'm doing it with the way I see it. It's my opinion, my interpretation, because I think his question, it wasn't swept away. It was or swept past. It was completely misinterpreted. But yeah. And the Paul Wolfers reference is legit. He was an important person in the government that wrote an important paper, and Douglas just said you can't say his name. Yeah, that's like that's something that I would, with the life bars, I would take it off. It's just, all I'm saying is I don't know how many points it would be or whatever. It would be based on the feel of in that moment. So I don't know if I could stick to a formal points system, but it would be fun anyway. I know there's no question. I'm keeping it in mind, Joseph. I really appreciate that. So yeah, non sequitur. I like that idea. Non sequitur, logical fallacies. Yeah, let's do that. I can actually just get a list of them as well. I'll have a nice chat with Grok about it, because Grok helps me actually think. Okay, so I mean, there's no question. There's no question. You no matter what. Okay, and by the way, you know it's funny just hearing you say this. No, me, I mean. By the way, I agree with you. I think you've been one of the blah blah champions of opposing Europe's immigration policy, and then he goes about America's immigration policy. Okay, I also think it would be a shame to have spent all this time in these streams and built this whole thing and not be able to give some kind of definitive breakdown. Absolutely. Look, my commentary is what I'm going to base my summary on, because basically it's a summary of my opinions, right? But you're right. If I'm going to be taking this going in this deep as a deep dive, why not? I need to see if the outline version or anything like this, the software where I put these markers in, if I can actually get a count of them. But yeah, I can do that. That chatter called me out. Yes, he did. He did call me out, but I appreciate it. Okay, the United States of if competitive forensic debates, a panel judges handwrite diagrams similar to one. What's in competitive forensic debates? A panel of judges handwrite diagrams similar to this one and track which arguments are dropped, which were more persuasive. They assign scores. Okay, well, yeah. I'm just the midwit over here. I'm trying my hardest. I'm not calling out anything. I just want the content to do well. I like the autistic breakdown. Thanks, Joseph. I've spoken to experts is not that, but I know what you mean. It's the popular. The popular meaning of autistic is in very, very fine detail. I find it fun. It is. I understand it's a weird thing to do, but there are people that are weird. You're weird, Joseph, and I appreciate your weirdness and let it shine. Okay. Okay. I also think the United States of America had an insane immigration policy. Anyway, in policy, I'm happy to see. Okay.
America's had an insane immigration policy. I'm happy to see that.
Point of
that
agreement.
seems
to be reversed. Okay. Okay. To be reversed. We getting more side quests
to be being reversed. But imagine you made a point about him.
You're not roasted back, Joseph. I'm appreciating your weirdness. You can see you're close to the end. Thanks, Joseph. I'm not roasting you. I'm appreciating you for real.
Immigration. And I were to say to you, be careful what's bubbling up online. Because
okay. I also think that the United States of America has had insane immigration policy. I'm happy to see that seems to be being reversed. Okay. But imagine you made the point about immigration and I were to say, be careful. Okay, so nice. Let's do this. There, we're getting to the point. Imagine.
Now look, the fact is, if you are taking a position that opposes, say.
But imagine you made a point about immigration and I were to say to you, be careful what's bubbling up online. Okay. Because now look, the fact. If you're taking, okay, we can take that out. If you're taking a position that opposes, say, Muslim immigration into the UK, then yes, it is quite possible that a lot of people who really just hate Muslims, it's true, are going to end up liking what you had to say. Yeah, that's it. Or following you. Okay, that is a point.
Muslim immigration into the UK. then yes, it is quite possible that a lot of people who really just hate Muslims are going to end up liking what you had to say or following you. But that doesn't mean you're responsible to it.
Yes, lovely. But that doesn't mean you're responsible to it. You're not for it, you mean, but okay. But that doesn't mean you're responsible for it. This is the conversation we could have had so long ago. This is the point that we could have gone into. Like, what is our responsibility, boys? What are we supposed to do with this? What are the things? What are our duties as creators and podcasters and things like that? What could we do with this? No, we had to fight through all the fucking molasses to get here, where we have 7 minutes left. Okay, you're responsible to it. Okay, to it, for it. Okay, what's next? Do we stick with this, please?
And if I were to say that to you, you would be the first to very eloquently point out that
very eloquently, you little shit.
Complete non-argument. The question.
Okay, that doesn't mean you're responsible to it. If you would be eloquently little bitch. He's being bitchy. It's cute. It's cute because I'm agreeing with him at this point. If I were to say that you would be the first to very eloquently point out that it was a complete non-argument. Mm-hmm. Okay. No more molasses then. Let's see. No, I think I don't know. We're probably going to get back into the molasses. Okay. There was this beautiful light at the end of the tunnel over here. If I have to say you would be the first to very eloquently, I just want to put a little note. Being a little bitch. Being bitchy. With the eloquently. Because he's basically just insulting the way... slap on 2 times speed. No! We're taking our time. We're savoring this. Being bitchy with the eloquently. Okay, fine.
Question is this policy good or is it bad? And whether there's not, and if you want to say to me, hey, I should disclaim when I make this point that hey,
yes, tell me
I'm
that.
Jewish, I love Jewish people.
Yeah, if you want me give me give me a solution. I know, yes, the solution joke. Swallow it up. We're done with it. It's been made several times. The question is this policy good or is it bad? This is what we could have gotten to, Douglas. And whether there's not a... Okay, so he rephrases. If you want to say to me, hey, I should disclaim when I make this point that I'm Jewish, I love Jewish people. The fact that there were some Jewish people involved in our foreign policy of establishment does not mean that it's the Jews. Then fine. That's something. That's something that you could require of him. And Dave is doing it there.
The fact that there were some Jewish people involved in our foreign policy establishment does not mean that it's the Jews. Then fine, I'm happy to say that. But
yes. Then fine, I'm happy to say that. So, because then you basically have to say, I found that I had to do a little bit of this with my tiny little stream. Okay? I had to basically make it known that just because I'm doing this topic does not make me an anti-Semite. Just because I'm doing this topic, it doesn't mean you can come into my chat and start spamming shit about the Jewish question and shit like that. That, just because I'm talking about that, we had to set up that boundary. Now, when you've got millions of people watching you, holy shit face, how are you supposed to manage that? So I guess we're going to have to discuss maybe this disclaimer bit so that you kind of piss those people off and say, I am not with you. Differentiate yourself from them. And I guess we call this virtue signaling and purity test, and I don't know, there are ways that you can disparage that kind of behavior. But I am kind of with Dave that, okay, there is something that is at least something you can do is piss off or at least tell them to piss off. I'm not with you. By the way, I am not with you. I'm talking about this, but I'm not with you. I think it's that disavow. Okay, it's the disavow. You have to go disavow before you speak, and I guess that that rubs people the wrong way, because then they're like, I don't have free speech. But it's like, no. It's the freedom for consequences thing. I think you can still differentiate. I would want to differentiate myself if I were them. I would want to say, I'm not with you guys. Oh, that's going to remove however many million views. Cool. I'm not part of that. You can have your million views over there on your anti-Semite channel. And that's not my problem. I'm over here. So, it's not just being bitchy. Dave showed Murray applies a different standard when Murray is saying things which might encourage anti-Muslim racism versus when Dave's words might encourage anti-Jewish. No, I think he's being bitchy with the eloquently. He's just literally saying, you use a lot of words with the eloquently comment. He's basically, you'll say it so eloquently because you are different. You speak differently. Like, a bit, for me, it's a bit of a jab at Dave's manner of speaking. I really do think it is, like, the way he goes roundabout and stuff. When he goes, you'll so eloquently tell me. That's how I interpreted how I heard it, Fish. But it's not being bitchy, just being bitchy. Dave just showed Murray applies a different standard when Murray is saying things. Which, yeah, no, of course, this is what he does here. These are really brilliant points. What he does with this, he's saying, look, you see, I can do the same thing with what you say. People can take anything you say, Douglas, and turn it into a hate crime, basically, or turn it into justification. So he's like, fine, what do I do? Okay, I'm happy to say that. And it is annoying that you would have to be like, guys, don't eat the Tide Pod, and then you carry on talking. Like, basically, that's what you have to do.
I just think it's a non-argument to say that, like, oh, you're kind of like you're creating fertile ground for this hatred. So if I'm being completely honest,
I think it's a non-argument to say that you're creating fertile ground for this hatred. He could maybe word it better than it's a non-argument. It's saying, it's a non-argument when you're saying it's a non-argument means like it's a non-issue. It's something we can talk beyond. It's not going, that doesn't stop me from talking. But this is just a common phrase he seems to use. It's a non-argument. It's a non-argument to say that, oh, you're kind of taking out the ums and ahs, to say you're creating fertile ground for this hatred. Okay, it's a non-argument. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think we've seen a lot of what you're talking about bubbling on Twitter. Okay, let's see.
I think we've seen what you're talking about bubbling up on Twitter. Do you think that's gotten worse over the last 18 months?
Okay. I'm being completely honest. I think we've seen what you're talking about bubbling up on Twitter. Do you think that's gotten worse over the last... I think, if you're asking me, Dave, because I know you absolutely care about my opinion, it has gotten worse. Absolutely. In terms of the Jewish... Wow. Anti-Semitism has been... And people are comfortable with it, eh? Oh, it's nothing to be ashamed of. So, it's normal. It's perfectly fine. We just do this. This is acceptable now. Okay. Do you think it's in the last 18 months? So that's my answer?
Yeah, sure.
Right. I think...
Oh, yeah, sure. Yes. Good. Well done for agreeing on something without saying, oh, in which 18 months or something stupid. Sure. Yeah. Okay, we've got an affirmative. I'm happy with you for that. Sure, yeah. I think... Does he say it? Who says it?
Kind of what Israel's doing in this war and the U.S. funding and arming it have been something that is really a great facilitator for that stuff to bubble up.
As I said,
Okay. Yeah, okay. So... Yes, that actually is people... I actually think people that hate Jewish people just use that as an example and as an excuse. They're like, you see, this is why. They go and they backload why they hate this group of people. So they're like, oh yeah, and they look at what happened in Israel and what's happening with the conflict, and they're like, you see, but they already had that view before. They're like, they feel like they can come out of the woodwork now and say these things because they look at this. Now, I suppose Dave is criticizing Israel itself, which Douglas is very uncomfortable with. You can't criticize Israel without being an anti-Semite, apparently. So we've got here, sorry. Do you think that's gotten worse over the last 18 months? Yeah, I think that kind of what Israel is doing in...
Go back to that.
I think kind of what Israel's doing in this war and the U.S. funding and arming it have been something that is really a great facilitator for that stuff to bubble up.
As I say, we could go back to that, but...
For that to bubble up, okay? If we're going to blame... I guess we're going to blame someone to bubble up. Like, he's like, yeah, Israel's actually... I feel like he's trying to say Israel is responsible for the hate that it's getting, but that would be putting words in his mouth. So he's just saying, yeah, that's going to cause it to bubble. So what do you have to say about that, Douglas? Douglas, what do you have to say about Israel doing things that hateful people can interpret as the worst thing ever? Like, you can't control that. It is a non-argument. I'm with Dave on this. It's a non-argument because people are gonna crazy. They're gonna eat the Tide Pod.
Disagree. I think that Israel has every right to go in and...
Okay, so this is the point he's here to tell everybody about anyway. That stuff to bubble up. As I say, we could go back to that, but I disagree. I think that Israel... Okay. Cool. We could go back to that. I disagree. Go back to that, but I disagree. I think that Israel has every right. But that, even if you would disagree with that, there are people that want to hate on Israel. You understand this, right? You have people that just categorically just want to find reasons to hate Jewish people.
Destroy the terrorist group that carried out mass...
Yes, again, but no one...
Yeah, he's not listening. Okay, but I disagree. I think Israel has every right to go in and destroy the terrorist group that carried out the mass. Yes. So he's like, listen, stop giving me the speech. I want us to interact with the idea further. So what is Dave going to say? Yes, but again, no one...
But no one's arguing if they have the right to destroy the terrorists. The question is they have the right to kill innocent people.
Okay, the right to kill innocent people. So this is what Dave is... Dave was very against Israel. That seemed quite clear, but he's against just war in general. I could not say whether he's anti-Semitic, and that's a problem, okay, for Douglas, because Douglas just wants to paint him with that brush. He wants to make him this Ian Carroll, and apparently these people have said that they wanted to kind of Jewish question light on Joe Rogan, so they could like spread things. I've seen that sort of stuff, but like I've said, I haven't gone in depth with the response to this debate while I'm diagramming it. Apparently that's something that's nefarious, but I can't attribute all of these things to Dave himself, and that's part of why we didn't get any of the conversations we needed to have.
Again, which...
No one's arguing if they have the right to destroy the terrorists. The question is they have the right to kill innocent people.
Okay, innocent people, because he's got a problem with that. Let's go around again. He's acting like Dave is the only one that's brought them in circles. Which I think we're just not answering. Huh?
Which...
No one's arguing if they have the right to destroy the terrorists. The question is they have the right to kill innocent people.
Again, which...
Let's not go around again. Okay, what?
I think we're done.
We're just not answering what I'm saying.
I think we're done. Okay, so this is how it's gonna end. Okay, let's go around. Which I think we're done. So like producers are like, hey, finish it off. Okay, what is the second point here, Douglas?
The right to kill
Let's not
innocent
go
people.
around again, which I think we've done.
We're just
but
not answering what I'm saying.
I think
I don't. Sturgeon. That's the thing. Dave categorically does not support Hamas. He also agrees that he agrees with the idea of them being a death cult. Absolutely true, bang on. Some of them will unironically say colonialism was great, if you ask me, and then also say human rights are being trampled in Israel. I'm not really an anti-Semite. So that there is... Sorry, I'm looking at what you're saying here, Nico. I feel like saying we can't talk about Paul Wolfowitz's foreign policy is going to create more anti-Semitism than anything Dave said, to be honest. Hamas, yeah, so absolutely true, bang on. Some of them will unironically say colonialism was great, if you ask me, and then also say human rights are being trampled. Yes, so that you're saying that people are just looking. You're agreeing with me saying that people are just looking for reasons to pile on to the why they hate Jewish people, to their already established anti-Semitism, which I've just never understood. It's as stupid to me as literally the color of someone's skin, meaning they are more or less valuable. Let's see.
I've already answered that, but just to go back to the...
What?
I think we've done.
We're just not answering what I'm saying.
I think
You're not answering what I'm saying. Okay. Saying now we're just back and forth. We're kind of nagging each other. I have answered that. Okay, so we just not friends the whole time. These little bits of just back and forth just don't help us, do they? Copy style. I think I've answered that. Okay.
I've already answered that, but just to go back to the meat of that.
Okay, let's go back to the meat of that. The meat of that. Where is the meat of that? Okay. Jesus. What happened with my transcript? Okay, I'm gonna have to search where we're at. Answered that. I've already answered that, but just to go back to the meat of what you said, I think you don't realize that actually people like me who have a voice and rights and much more do think about that all the time. It's a profound concern and responsibility. Okay. Okay, sir, your elitism is still showing.
I think you don't realize that actually people like me who have a voice and right and much more do think about that all the time. It's a profound concern and responsibility.
So I agree with that.
Right. And don't
Okay,
think...
so he agrees with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I do think as a person, because it's right, it's not necessary, but because it's right, you should have spare a thought to your responsibility. I understand that. Some people ask, like, Dave doesn't owe anyone anything. He doesn't owe those hating people anything. He should be able to say what he wants, and everybody should be discerning enough to figure out that they're hateful, and figure out that they're stupid, and figure out that they're falling for a conspiracy and whatever. But yeah, you do need to spare a little bit of thought.
I don't worry all the time.
But just to go back, okay, do you think I don't worry? But the worrying, sir, what are we supposed to do with this? Okay, so it's a profound concern, yes. I agree with that. Right. I don't think... You don't think I worry? I don't think that's what Dave was saying. I think Dave was... I mean, you are saying to Dave that he doesn't worry enough. I think that's what's happening.
Right. Concern and responsibility.
So I agree with that.
Right. And don't think I don't worry all the time and make sure I intervene into the debate very carefully at times.
Make sure, and don't worry all the time, and make sure I intervene into the debate very carefully at all times. I think your intervention actually hasn't. Sometimes it stunts that goal. It assumes that you don't have the conversation. You actually get a bit too sensitive to what the person is saying. Instead of letting their argument make its way out, you have to let the argument make its way out and then address it. What you've done is just try and shut it down at all the wrong points, really. You're shutting it down in a way that makes the people that you're supposed to be convincing, it makes them feel like you're wrong from the beginning. And we are already primed. We are humans. We are primed to hear what we agree with. And you're not helping by doing that. So just the way that he has conducted himself in this whole debate has not actually, like earlier somebody said there, it's created more anti-Semites or whatever. It's counterintuitive. So this constant worry, because you don't want it to be said at all, that doesn't help us. You need to fight it. You need to actually give us your idea, because your idea is supposed to be better, right? So let the person's idea come out and then fight it. You could have done that, but instead you got pissy around it. And tone policing is another method of distracting or derailing.
When I intervene into the debate very carefully at times.
Very carefully at times. At all times. Did he say it at times? At times. Okay.
When I think some people have picked up something that I've been saying and are going to go wrong with it.
Yes, I think that is exactly part of what his preoccupation is. He's like, oh no, somebody's going to misinterpret me this way. But then that actually takes him away from the debate itself. It takes him away from the conversation itself. And then you're going to have to deal with how somebody misinterprets you, and you have to correct them. It's part of the whole thing. So where are we at? I do regularly do it. Picked up something that I've been saying and are going to go wrong with it. That scares the hell out of me. Yeah, I can see that totally in the way that you have dealt with this conversation, and it's actually been quite detrimental. Because you are a knowledgeable person on this. I don't regularly do it. The hell out of me, because I have to, listen. Okay, let's see.
That scares the hell out of me, and I do it regularly.
Yeah,
and I do
me
it
too,
because
by the way.
I have to.
Yeah, listen. So okay, so that's a point.
And I do it regularly. And I do it because I have to. Okay, so he has to. I guess everybody is just not liking the way you do it. But he does it. What is Dave's response here?
Point of agreement too. But you don't.
So that's a point of agreement too. Okay. Okay. I actually think he's quite frustrated by this time. He's tired. So he's like, "How dare you?" He kind of feels a bit like Dave is attacking him. Okay.
Stop believing in that policy for it, and you won't stop bringing that up.
The policy for it, and you won't
say.
Point of agreement too. But you don't stop believing in that policy for it, and you won't stop bringing.
Agreement 2. But you don't stop believing in that policy for it, and you won't stop bringing that up. Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't. You should not keep it under wraps. You're making it more attractive to people.
You do say, but
okay. We were talking over each other. You do say, okay. You do say, on occasion, you go.
You do say on occasion. I mean, most obvious one on that. If there is something where something really fetid happens, something really terrible, and there's a bunch of people that decide to riot or commit violence or something like that, I know that I have to, as a duty, say, absolutely, this is to be condemned.
Yeah, initially, with politicians, I used to get so annoyed with this. So and so condemns this. Of course they do. Like I'm like, you don't get a cookie for condemning it, but actually, you have to, in order to separate yourself out. You have to separate yourself out from the people that are going to assume that you don't condemn it. And that's why a lot of people will push opponents to say, will you condemn Hamas? And that's one of the ways to figure out where they actually stand. That they'll push it to that. Like, no, what are you, will you condemn these actions? And if they go, oh, but, no. Look at this act, this specific act. Can you please just tell me what you think of it? Do you really, like, for me, to find the real anti-Semites, that's when you're going to go, were you happy? Basically, you're asking that person, were you happy those people died? Like, do you have no humanity? Is that, I would just like to figure that out about you. It's the kind of way. So this is the opposite. This is when you're saying, I condemn this, you have to kind of declare your humanity. And yes, it gets annoying. It becomes like a pious thing and whatever, but I understand what Douglas is saying. That he has to, I know I have a duty to say absolutely this is to be condemned. It's an unfortunate state of events, but you have a duty because you also have a voice. I'm with him on that.
If it is people trying to pretend that all Muslims this or all that, absolutely, I intervene to stop that.
I intervene to stop that. Yes, I understand that, but what he's done with Dave is assumed that that's what Dave is doing. He's assumed that Dave has gone all Jewish people, all this, all that. He's assumed that that's the group that Dave is part of because Dave has spoken to people that are part of that group. And Dave doesn't think that they're part of that group, but it seems like they are, boys. It seems like they are. They're JQing all over the place.
I think that this is one of the responsibilities that comes with putting out ideas in the public square.
Yeah.
Yes, we could have had this conversation, Douglas. I love you now, but why? Why could we not have had this conversation when we don't have 4 minutes left of the podcast? This is what you want, what we could have spoken about. Oh, I think that is, I intervene to stop that. I think that is, but I think that this is one of the responsibilities. Okay, but I think this is one of the responsibilities that comes with putting out ideas in the public square. Yes, and we agree about this. I think those years are from Dave and Joe.
And I think that none of us are ideas in the public square.
Yeah.
Dave, wow, he said yeah. We need to do this. And this is something they could have agreed on and then gotten into their discussion. But no, we only get to it now. Yeah.
And I think that none of us are blame-free, but all of us have some kind of responsibility.
Okay, so he's just continuing further. None of us are blame-free, but all of us have some kind of responsibility
to know that what we put out there is very carefully watched, very carefully followed, and that we have to tread well.
Well, okay, so I agree with that, but when you say you intervene...
Okay, well, okay. Yeah, trade well, but that's not watch what you say because it might be misconstrued. It's going to be misconstrued. It's going to be taken because of the Tide Pod people. Okay? That's going to happen. So, what is our response from Dave? What's the further quibble, problem, whatever? So I agree with that. Yeah, so we've got that. He agrees.
Veen, what exactly do you mean by that? You mean you voice opposition to it? You say
You voice opposition to it. You say, hey, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, we have to say, okay, in immigration policy, that's good for our country. Okay, he's now gone into the other arc.
hey, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, we have to have a sane immigration policy that's good for our country.
Make sure
to say in immigration policy. So he split it up because he was like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, we have to say. Now he gives an example. So, like, saying, that's not what I'm saying. I'm going to put this, split it up just for myself. Here's an example. I'm saying that, like, we have to say in immigration policy, that's good for our country. Okay.
say which politics.
Saying that, like, we have to have a sane immigration policy that's good for our country.
Make sure
Okay, so this is an example, and then Douglas. Now, this is the cooperation that we need in a conversation where you offer your examples to show your understanding of somebody's point. Okay, you offer the same sort of examples. I don't know if Douglas is doing that. I think he might be offering his own examples to show disagreement, but let's see. Make sure you know so this is what he does. Make sure you know which politician I think can deal with it.
Say which politician I think can deal with it decently and which ones will not. I mean, I've made plenty of.
Okay, so that's part of his opposition is saying who he supports. Okay, I mean, I've made plenty of enemies on the European right by saying who
enemies on the European right by saying who I think is bad and who will not do this well. But
yeah,
I just put it out there. I think I literally say it as a point of caution.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't disagree with that.
Caution. He puts it out as a point of caution, but it comes off as very highbrow and I don't disagree with that, and I've certainly done the same thing. I literally say it as a point of caution. So I'm like, thank you so much. No floating topic. I literally say it as a point of caution. So it's like, yeah, cool, but it was a combative point of caution. So we're all going to fight around it until we can maybe somehow get to the point where we kind of agree, but we still hate each other because we've spent about 2.5 hours mostly at each other's throats. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I've certainly done the same thing. And said like. So what have you said like? I don't know. Let's see his example.
And I've certainly done the same thing and said that, like, I don't know, like, I don't like Jew hatred on Twitter, and I don't.
Okay, said that. Said that. I don't know. I don't like Jew hatred on Twitter. Thank you for that. I don't like. Oh gosh, just to check all of these I don't knows out because it's difficult to speak. Okay, brains and mouths don't sync up very well. I don't like Jewish hatred on Twitter, and I don't like people jumping to wild conspiracies that they don't have nearly enough evidence to actually back up. Which I've seen quite a bit of. Okay, cool.
Like people jumping to wild conspiracies that they don't have nearly enough evidence to actually back up, which I've seen quite a bit of. That being said, I also think there's a whole lot of real conspiracies, and I'm not going to stop talking.
That being said, there's a lot of real conspiracies, and I'm not going to stop talking about it. Okay. So yeah, if he believes in something, he's going to think about it, but if he believes in it and he knows it can be taken badly by the other people, he's not going to stop talking about it. It's like, listen, I believe in it, not for the reasons they do, but I believe in it. Okay. Just because some people on Twitter might take it a bad direction. Oh no, well, as the great, we know exactly. We know that, bro, this is Douglas, because Douglas likes saying the great this and that. Unless Dave is making a joke. Let's see.
Talking about those just because some people on Twitter might take it in a bad direction.
Well, as the great Michael.
There we go. Yeah, it is him. As the great Michael. The great Michael who? Jordan? Michael. Malice. I know. I knew he wasn't going to say Jordan, but that was a joke. At least I explained it to you, so now you'll laugh. Okay.
Malice said, as you quoted, one red pill, not the whole bottle.
I've been trying to limit people to one red pill. One red pill a year.
Oh my gosh, we have a good repeat. One red pill, not the whole bottle. Beautiful. Okay, we had a callback. Red pill, not the whole bottle, and then we've got Dave. Look, they're on the same side, boys. But then they're going to go and talk shit about each other on the internet after the debate. Okay. Whole bottle. I've been trying. This is them playing nice, I think. Are they playing nice? Because there's like a few minutes left. Come on, play nice. Be good boys. I've been trying to limit people to one red pill a year is all you need. Okay, let's see.
That's all you need. A lot of people, they take one of those things.
A lot of people. I think they're playing nice. I think they might be playing nice. Okay, I think I'll put the playing nice thing there. A lot of people, they take one of those things and they just get hungry, sort of like boosters. Okay, so we're on the same team here, boys. Is what's happening. They're playing nice. Please continue and finish this.
And they just get hungry.
Sort of like boosters.
Like boosters.
Well, it ends up.
Okay, now we got to take one of those things and then just get hungry. Okay, so we've got another collaborative joke here by our lovely Joe. Sort of like boosters. They're all playing. All get to play. This is Douglas. Joe. Like boosters. Does he say like boosters? Boys, I think we're so close. I'm so excited. Okay, what happens? Who?
It ends up.
Things and they just get hungry.
Sort of like boosters.
Like boosters.
Well, it ends up.
Okay, so he went like boosters. So look, that's an agreement to the joke. Yeah, they play nice. They're good boys. Like boosters. Because we're finishing off the discussion. And we play nice. Okay. Yeah. And then?
It ends up. Yeah, exactly. You take none of those. No, you're supposed to take one red pill.
By the way,
take none of those. You're supposed to take one. Okay. Take none of those. No, you're supposed to take one red pill. That's what one. Okay. Take none of those. Okay, so we these two. This is when they were on their side. Then they were also then not on the side of the wokies. So they're playing in the realm where they agree, which is a good place to go to build camaraderie.
What's the one in front of you?
Which one?
That one.
No, you're supposed to take one red pill.
By the way, what's the one?
Guys, there was a meow there. Did you guys hear it? Listen here.
Right. You take none of those. No, you're supposed to take one red pill.
By the way, what's the one?
Is that meow? That's like a common thing on the show to get it, like tell them that they're finishing up. Okay, take none of those. You're supposed to take one red pill. What's the one in front of you? Which there's a black one. Okay.
What's the one in front of you?
Which one?
That one there.
This?
Black one. Yeah.
It's nicotine.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's the chewing ones.
It's like a pouch.
Chris Williamson showed me yesterday this one that he said weightlifters are using in Austin. It's like a powder or something.
Weightlifters.
Yeah.
This is all play nice. Interesting stuff. I'm going to put a block around it. One of those you're supposed to black one. What's the one in front of you? Because now, look, we have to talk about... We're done arguing. We have to talk about things we're re-socializing and we're not at each other's throats anymore. What's the one in front of you? I'm playing nice. Which one? The black one. Lol. Joe Rogan is blackpilled. No, X-Mind, no. Hold on. Okay. Just finish it. One in front of you. I'm still putting this in, okay? One in front of you. Which one? The black one. That's nicotine. Nicotine. Is that even how you spell nicotine anymore? I don't know. Anymore, as in, what's my brain doing with it? It's nicotine. Oh, I see. That's the chewing ones. It's like this plant, blah, blah, blah. So he has to go and give us this other thing.
A nicotine powder?
No, it's not nicotine. It's something like it.
Creatine?
Creatine. I see. That's the chewing ones. Okay. Then he goes and gives us this other anecdote. He's always got an anecdote. He's always ready with an anecdote. It's like a pouch. Chris Williamson showed me yesterday. This one that he is weird weightlifters use in Austin. It's like a powder or something. Weightlifters. Creatine powder? No, it's not licking. It's something like it creatine. Okay, cool.
No, it's like it's to sniff.
Oh no! That's smelling salts. We do
Smelling
that
salt. That's right.
for
Smelling
a goof,
salts.
for silly. We do that.
We do that for a goof for silly. To sniff. Oh no. Okay, cool. I'm still doing it. Come on.
Silly.
I hadn't heard of that since
They're
like
horrible.
19th century women who thought they had the vapors, and he said these are smelling salts.
Well, they used to use it for.
Yes, okay. 1950s woman. They're smelling salts. So we all just having a good old social time. For goof for silly. Okay, how does Joe end this conversation? I hadn't heard of that since 19th century. Blah, blah, blah. Smelling salts. I want smelling sauces. Okay.
Boxers when they got knocked out.
Is that
To wake them up.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Dude,
Does it work?
It's it works for weightlifters. You sniff it before you lift incredible amounts of weight. Allegedly, powerlifters use them. That's literally why they sell it. It just jolts your entire central nervous system because it's so horrific. Want to smell?
No.
This is, by the way, a little insight into the comedy community. The deal is that Joe will help advance the careers of comedians unlike anybody since Johnny Carson, but then the cost is you do have to sniff smelling salts. We all have to do that.
Bring the
It's a
smelling
Faustian
salts.
bargain of sorts, but
Cute.
it is what it is.
Do you have a heart out, Douglas?
Kind of. I got to get to DC.
Okay.
One of my least favorite cities in the country, but
Yeah.
Another area of agreement. There we go.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. It was very, very good. I enjoyed it very much, and thank you, Dave.
I do. Of course, thank you to you, John. Thank you, Douglas, very much. I do appreciate that. While we do fundamentally disagree on a lot of this stuff, I do admire that you will come have these
Let's
conversations.
show everyone the book here. It's
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Avoided it on myself, luckily. On democracies and death cults, Israel and the future of civilization, Douglas Murray. Did you do the audiobook?
I
you
did
read it
do the
yourself?
audiobook.
Thank
You can hear these
You
mellifluous
can listen to
tones.
him.
Yes, love
I'll
it.
sign this
It would
one
be a
for you.
tragedy if anybody else did it.
I
Thank you
trust
very
you.
much. Yes. All right. Beautiful. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Energy was tense at the end there. Sort of have these conversations. You guys are all super smart. That's why the optimal prisoner's dilemma starts. Yeah. Anyway, bamboozled. So yeah, they just made it. I still have to finish this, guys. I still have to put everything where it's supposed to go. I'm because they were never intellectuals. Yeah, well, ain't no. Everybody is an intellectual, okay? Everybody who thinks is intellectual. I had the over on 8.5 episodes. You know what? Paffy, we actually, because of an X-Mind jolt, basically, we lost about 10 minutes of conversation diagrammed. So you know what? I'm going to fix this up. I think we are... Yeah, I've got half an hour before 4 hours, which is a full episode. Okay, but first of all, the program is being smooth. Okay, so share my works. Okay, upload file. Yes, there's upload. Okay, I'm uploading this to the cloud so that it's there. This is the first finished debate since donkey years. I don't even remember finishing a debate ever. We finally finished, boys. We finished. Okay, look, I haven't put in this nice making, but basically the note is they make nice at the end. Okay, they discuss. They discuss sniffing salts, and then they say thank you. I appreciate it. This was good. The end. So we have. Are we good? Do you guys agree that we finished this? Plenty of Jew hatred to go around. Well, yeah. What actually needs to happen? We're still not done. In that, I want to just put a thoughts thing together. Just that. Just a repeat, like probably a separate video that just repeats what I've said the whole way through this debate about what I think Douglas did with it, what could have been done better, blah blah blah. That's the last bit, but that's for people that would not have stuck around for the autistic detail. That's a different kind of demographic. Have you been to a finished diagram? Yeah, exactly. I will let you be to a finished diagram when I give you this this link. It is in the chat. That's the diagram link. And I'll put it in, run it on 10 times speed. You're an autistic detail. Yeah. So that's it, everybody. I'm kind of exhausted. And what are we going to do next time? Next week? Because I'm going to be working on that but dreaming schedule app. So what are we going to diagram next week? I'll tattoo it on my butt. You're going to need to put it on your back and your butt. Did you diagrams today? I did many. No, I did one diagram. I continued with one. Floyd, it would be nice to have some energy to game, but no. TLDR, they repeated ad nauseum and derailed the first opportunity. Thank you, Davina. Yes, the TLDR. Unfinished diagram started with Vaush versus Sargon. Okay. Kitty Rage. Yeah. So, we need to. I was actually wondering, do I go back to those? Do I go back to them and finish them, or do we just go? Yeah, no. Debate diagram is continuing. Sargon, isn't he an asshat? Yeah, he's all over the place. Sometimes he's right about things, sometimes he isn't. So there's that. What? Yeah. Any opinions on what we should do next week? Let me know in the comments below. I've got to go and which Rogan episode is next? Gray, get out of here. We're not doing that. Even the broken clock is right once a day. Yeah. Well, that's how I operate. Have you flicked your bean to a debate diagram? Find better subjects. Well, guys, just look to make sure. Hey, make sure 100 gorillas next. Seriously, we could. We used to have palate cleansers. Okay. That's what we would do. Edging to stupidity. Okay, guys, you're making me laugh. But I think just make sure that your notifications are on. And you know that I'll be streaming something in autistic detail next week. And if you want to become a member, you will have a say in the things we future diagram. So think about that. Have a nice life, everybody. You could choke a gorilla yourself, a very baby gorilla, probably. Yeah, I don't have I could make you listen to the intro song as the outro, but that doesn't make sense. So all you're gonna get is my usual. Okay, thanks, bye. See you guys next week. Have a nice life. Go and subscribe, you shit.